Hello there, it's another morning. It's a Tuesday. You're welcome here on Prime Morning, and we are back to serve again. I want to believe you had a great night, and you're doing very well this morning.
You are doing well. We know. We can tell. But whatever your worries are, if you're not doing well, don't worry at all, because you know what? God says that there is day and there's night. You might be going through your night phase, but trust the process. Day will come very soon, and once it comes, you gain your smile again. Good morning and welcome to Prime Morning. We are here to make sure that we give you a great start to your day. My name is Roslyn Felly, and I'm here with...
I'm KMJ. We're still celebrating Ghana Month.
Yep.
And wow, so far so good. You've done well for yourselves as well, and so let's keep it on. Let's keep it going till the last line, okay? But from now to 10 a.m. we're going to be here to serve you the very best. Don't forget, coming up shortly will be News Flash. That's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprises. This morning, what are we looking at?
There's a lot happening in Parliament, I must say. You know, minority seems not to be giving up or backing down anytime soon. I mean, there's been so many times where people have said that our health sector has to be fixed. And people have even said that it hasn't been fixed because the authority have the means to take their family members and their loved ones abroad for treatment just in case something happens. Now, yesterday, the minority leader, Honorable Afenyo Marking, is calling on Parliament to build a hospital for parliamentarians.
When? In the next 5 years? Or now?
Whatever he wants it to be built, he wants it to be built. But what happened to our own hospitals getting fixed so that everybody uses it? I mean, we've put you there to work for us, okay? Your responsibility is to make sure that we have very good health care. People have been complaining, no beds, deploring state of our hospitals, the attitude of some of the nurses or the health workers and all of that. Have you worked on them? Why do you think we should build hospitals for you? Is it that you're a special breed and that the others that are contributing tax-wise should rather go through the deplorable state and you get a special one? Or maybe just because of their safety, just because that they are the ones who fight for us, they deserve better. So these are conversations that have been ongoing yesterday, and you can join the conversation this morning as we are going to be talking about it. But what do you think about it, Kay?
It's unnecessary.
Oh, really?
I mean, we've got a lot to do. Let's focus on that. Let's fix what we have to fix first.
Let's fix what we have to fix.
You're talking about the next 10 years because other countries are not even asking for this. I'm not sure the U.S. Senate has a special hospital they have to go to. I mean, really, let's not get there. We've got a lot of things to talk about.
Okay, so it looks like KMJ is in agreement with majority of you. You don't agree with what the minority leader said as to building hospital for parliamentarians. Well, not just that, but I just want to ask you and KMJ a simple question as well. Do you think that those who can afford the secondary school tuition fees should go ahead and pay?
Why not? It lessens the burden on government. If people think they are able to afford, I mean, there are serious people, like even those who are with disability, who cannot afford all the school fees and all that. So if I say that I can afford, just so it makes way for another person who cannot afford to get entry, why not? I mean, that should have been looked at right from the outset. You understand? So it's not a bad thing. It would just also help making sure that the government is able to adequately, provide for the needs of the kids, especially what they eat, which is very, very important.
Especially what they eat. And so I'll ask you this question. If this happens, won't we as Ghanaians say that the free SHS has been cancelled? No,
it's not. It's not cancelled.
Won't it now take them back to the NDC era where they did a progressive free SHS?
That's how it was supposed to have started in the first place.
Okay.
We wouldn't have had all this burden we're having and all these inconsistencies in terms of who is feeding who and how even the double track is giving us problems. If we had started it like that and moved on into, different phases, I'm sure we would have done it better. Then again, it was a campaign promise that had to be fulfilled, and so it was done in haste. If you ask me, it's not a bad idea, it's not a bad policy. Nobody's saying it's a bad policy. It's one of the brilliant policies that the NPD have. that. Even till now, you can't even wake up and say you want to cancel a free SHS. It will be unwise for any political party to decide, make a decision like that. But the thing is it the quality you want? Is it giving you what you want in terms of the standards? Progressively, you could have done it and still maintain it to this level that you are right now. It's just that.
But progressively, it's not free. In actual fact,
it's free for those who can't afford.
Okay, all right. So talking about that, O2482 or Tikokoso Nana, it's saying that President Mahama should look into it for those who can afford the school fees. Should go ahead and pay the school fees. Do you also agree with it, or you think once it's done, then the NDC is going back to the progressive free senior high school, or they are not? Let's hear your voice this morning on that conversation as well. And also the fight against Galamsey. 400 men are being trained in the marine sector to fight Galamsey. Let's not forget this, that under the president, the SWL president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we saw this happen. You know, they bought speedboats, they bought this, they bought that, training and all of that. But Galamsey wasn't able to be kept. So will this happen this time round with these 400 men?
I think it's an add-on for me. There's been a lot of work that has been put in place to ensure that we, halt this Galamsey thing. If you're doing anything extra, it means that you want to just increase the capacity of whoever that is responsible to fighting this crime. And so for me, it's not a bad thing. I mean, these are things we should have done way before where we are right now. And so for any person who decides that, okay, let me just increase the capacity of these people so they'll be able to fight, it's a good thing because it's on the water bodies.
Yeah.
And you need men who are able to navigate their way around the water bodies to be able to ensure that people do not even come there. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a good thing.
Okay. Now, talking about that, you need to join our conversation this morning on 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. Let's have a discourse on social media as well. You can go on our Facebook page and leave your comment there. Trust us, and then we'll read all your comments. Do you agree with all the things that are being proposed to the government and what the government is doing, or you think there are alternatives to solve and give us a better Ghana? Be a part of our conversation. And then what else we have?
Absolutely. Looking ahead, we've got trends coming your way. Shalade will be coming on with the latest updates in the world of trends. Now, finally, Nato and the team will bring you some updates in the world of sports. Do not miss out on that. In between time, we've got some special conversations that you want to be a part of later. Before we wrap it all up, we'll be looking at good living, and we're still talking about traditional medicine as we celebrate Ghana's month and 50 years of plant medicine. We're going to be looking at the way forward, what has been done, and what we can do to even make it better. That conversation also comes up right here on Prime Morning. You don't want to miss out on that.
Talking about that, it's still Ghana month, right? And we celebrate everything Ghana month. And so let's take our African proverb of the day. This is for KMJ to read because KMJ is ever. So KMJ, go ahead.
And it says that Modidi Magbona do nuti now. A long journey will not go beyond its destination town. Modidi Magbona do nuti now.
Okay, there is a time to a limit. There's a limit to everything. Okay, yeah, that's true. There's a limit to everything. Very, very true. Anyway, this is our...
Modidi, how did Modidi end up becoming
a long journey?
Modidi means Didi is eating. Why?
No, this is ever.
Okay.
This is ever. Yeah, Didi is tree.
Yeah, because
this is ever.
It's like Mundidi.
No, this is ever.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, this whole time will permit us for now. Don't forget to be a part of our conversation. And we'll say a very big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise for always having our back. Franco Trading Enterprise still phone prepare if you join the conversation from now all the way to 10 a.m. as KMJ and I gives you a great start to your day.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
And you know, we have conversations behind the scenes before we come on air. You're still watching Prime Morning. I'm here with Honorable Timothy Awantrim-Atabwade, just like we always do. Conversations before we come on. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, Rosalind.
How are you?
I'm looking fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You're always mutating from one state to the other.
I know. I keep growing young, eh?
Yeah, that is fantastic. And it's good. It's to glorify God's name because we are a creation of the Most High. So we shouldn't look sad. We shouldn't look unkept and so on.
Yeah.
You should be properly dressed before. That is why even people going to church, you should put on your best. Because sometimes we put up our best to discourse. If you are going to your father's house and you wear jeans and you dress anyhow.
Yeah.
You are going to parties and you dress your best. You are going to weddings, you dress your best. But when you are going to worship God, you dress anyhow. Is he that who wants to see that his children are dressed anyhow? So I think we have to encourage ourselves, and we all want to look our best. And it also takes off the pressure that the challenges are there, the economic challenges are there, but you don't have to give up. We have to continue to maintain our standard till you are yanked from your current state to a better state. So let me say good morning to our viewers and to our cherished viewers across the globe. I think a lot of people are enjoying the program, and we want to wish them well, and that they should be part and parcel of the conversations here, as they've always been. We cherish them so much, and this morning I wish all of them the best.
Talking about wishing all of them the best, there are topics that we'll be discussing this morning, and we can't wait to delve into it. And it's probably brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise.
Especially the SS program.
The SS program, I know. Since you're an educationist, I know.
Yeah,
so now talking about that, what's a very big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise for always having our back. And now this is one thing I say, that when it comes to gadgets, the only place that I'll go to is Franco Trading Enterprise. It's the mobile phones that you want, television sets, CCTV cameras. I mean, any gadgets you could think of, microwave, sorry. I mean, all the things that you could think of, Franco Trading Enterprise has got you covered. Things have evolved, things have changed. I mean, we've grown, we are in a digital era. And so you can sit in the comfort of your home and order items. All you need to do is to download the app on your phone, which is the Franco Trading app, and place your orders. And of course, it will be delivered to you at your doorstep. Why don't you let us do this together? Franco Trading Enterprise, still and still, phone, papa, pair, fee. Now, talking about that, we also want to say a very big thank you to all of you that have been sharing your messages with us on our WhatsApp number 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. Our conversations keep getting better and better. There's a lot that's happening in Parliament, you know. There's a lot that's happening, not just in Parliament, but to fight galamsey, you know. There's a lot that is happening in our education sector as well. Talking about free SHS, which has been heavy with regards to campaign. Now, some says, oh, you know, if you vote for this particular person, the person will cancel it. Some says, no, we need to get it better. We need to research and all of that. We'll take a look at the education sector. We'll take a look at the galamsey side, and we take a look at what is happening in Parliament as well. I've been joined by Honorable Michael Aidoo, and he's representing the NPP. Hi, Michael.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing great.
Did you miss me?
Oh, you've been missed.
Hey. I like that I've been missed. It makes me feel good. Anyway, how's everything though?
Great.
Great, and it's good to have you once again. All right, so I'll start off with the newspapers, and then we can delve into our topics for this morning. The Daily Graphic is actually reporting one of our stories, and it says 400 guards to train, safeguard water bodies, or 400 guards trained to safeguard water bodies. And we are taking a look at this because we have been talking about the galamsey side. How can we fight this menace? And if these 400 guards are training to fight our water bodies against galamsey, then we need to delve deeper into it. And so let's hear your voice this morning as well. Stakeholders propose special military units for forest protection. At Graphic Business and First National Bank dialogue, experts demand lower lending rates as T-bill rates tumble. Republic Bank posts 37.84% growth in assets. And that will be all for the Daily Graphic newspaper. The next newspaper is The Catalyst. The Catalyst. A ticking time bomb as another Galamsey disaster is waiting to happen at Konongo Odumase. And if you see a picture of, I think there's a road that has been blocked and all of that, we hope that this will not happen. We hope that, you know, the military will go in there and salvage the situation. We'll come for you if you fail to show us. OSP Des Opori Atta, and this conversation, we had it right here yesterday. Joy returns to Ghana, police over Dr. George Dampari's removal. And 20 million Ghana cedis worth of opioid drugs seized at Tema Port. The New Republic newspaper as the next newspaper, the New Republic. Being a female judge in Ghana is extremely tough. Mama Bobby III says so. GPRTU spare parts dealers dispute NPP drivers as lorry fares surge. President shuffles top military brass. And who polices the police? Okay. Ex-Yoko boss squanders 30 million Ghana cedis exhibits cash. Hey, this story. Anyway, I'll put it on the side. We'll do more investigation into this and bring it to you another time. The Economy Times newspaper is the next newspaper. IMF key stakeholders to determine improved new VAT system. Ghana classified at high risk of debt distress as total external liabilities stand at $28.3 billion. Over 30 billion Ghana cedis used for financial sector cleanup exercise, yet NIB is still in distress, says government. You see, this one, the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Government launches Blue Water Guard initiative, 2,000 youth to protect water bodies, says President Mahama. And as of now, it's 400 that they have started with. Upper East region, hot weather puts Ghana Health Service on high alert. Varsity Dawn calls for right leadership towards educational reform. And teacher in court for allegedly defrauding $11,000 thefts, I see. Okay, so that'll be all with regards to the newspapers for this morning. Now, you are joining us and we are grateful. Let's not forget that we are streaming live on Facebook, and so leave your comments there and we will definitely be reading your comments. Now, if you're doing that, don't forget to hit the share button and let everybody on your timeline enjoy it as well. Maybe we should start the conversation with the water guard because it's called the Blue Water Guard. Is an initiative that was created by the President, John Dramani Mahama, to help curb Galamsey. Now, currently, there are 400 persons who are going under training so that they come out to guard our water bodies. Do you think this can be feasible? Because they are being trained, so it will be done. But can they fight the Galamsey? Or is it going to be just one of those charades that we've seen in the past, that it started, but it never yielded any results? So let me start this with Michael, since you are in opposition. I know if I ask Honorable, his first thing will be yes, it will work.
So you want an ultimate?
Yes, so let me ask Honorable Michael Aidoo. Yeah. Probably he will be able to let me know if it will work or not work, because he also tried something similar.
Rosalind, I think for now, we wouldn't be able to tell whether it will work or not. But then what I'm curious about is the fact that we've sent the military, we've sent the police, and now we have to get a para unit called the Blue Water Guard to go and take care of these sites. Yesterday, I saw a post where someone was alluding to the fact that their work is mainly to be whistleblowers. So they are going to monitor around and then inform the various security agencies. If that is the case, then fine. We'll say maybe it will work. But for now, we cannot say for sure whether it will work or not. You know, the Galamsey menace is quite deep and quite threatening. And for any unit that is going in, my fear is that they don't get corrupted, because these are party people, that have been recruited within a short time to go and support their government so that they will be able to nip the galamsey issue in the bud. And if these people are going down already, most of the party people have now engulfed themselves in the galamsey. If you're looking at the reports that are coming out recently, yesterday I was listening to Asantehene FM. Basically, most of the people engaging are party people. So if you send the same party people to go and be reporting or become whistleblowers, if you are not careful, we will spend the state's resources on them and we will not get the results. That's why I'm saying it's early days yet. We are yet to see.
Okay, so we are yet to see. But Honorable Timothy, I want to...
Yeah.
This particular strategy has been done before. You know, there's been allegations of even military men who have been, some of them have been corrupted through this. Do you think it's still the right way to fight galamsey?
Let me say good morning to Honorable Aidoo. You're looking great in your... is this Ghana made or...
It's Ghana made.
And who made it?
A friend of mine.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm also in Ghana made, but it didn't tell me I was nice.
Oh, yours is nice. Yours is really, really nice.
And I told
you know, I like the fugu.
Yeah.
It's the fugu. I like it. It's really nice. Smoke.
We want to distribute this morning.
But, the issue of galamsey, we've come a long way. We've really come a long way as a country in the fight. If you check and track the record, it's been a long way. It's spanned through regimes, and even tough regimes like the Rawlings regime and so on, and other menace to our environment and so on. But it has become topical now because of the devastation that it has caused, not just the environment, but humans and so on. You sit your corner, you think that it won't reach you. Tomorrow when you get up in the morning, it's by your doorstep.
By your doorstep, yeah.
It won't reach you, your relatives in the village, and as we are all connected to our rural roots, you get one of your relatives that has been sent to hospital because he has drunk water that has been polluted by the same Ghanaian people. Like you rightly put it, it is true that there have been different methods that are being used to fight the galamsey or to even reduce it to its lowest levels. It is also agreed that we cannot say that those who are into small-scale mining, who are licensed, should lose their job, but they must be properly guided and put in the right perspective. Mining in water is completely no. Mining in forest reserve, completely no. I keep saying it and repeatedly, that even the colonial government that came here to exploit our resources did not mine in our waters. They created forest reserves for us, parks and gardens. The country has been given to us, and we Ghanaians have tended to be monstrous to ourselves in the way we go about these things. But the issue that often comes up is the big people behind the galamseyers are those that we do not even see, are those that finally benefit from the huge sums of money and the smuggle of gold from this part of the world into other areas, and they live like Arabian kings. Yet we continue to bear the brunt of the devastation as a result of galamsey and so on. So it's a fight that is not an NDC fight. It's a fight that is national. Every patriotic citizen must ensure that your voice is heard in terms of the fight against this thing. It was in our manifestos to make the waters blue again. That was our issue, make the waters blue again. But you see, there's a problem, and the problem is simply this. Like he said, check this. Anytime we recruit young men or people we think that they can help resolve the matter, they become part and parcel of the problem and exacerbate it. That is the crux of the matter. So how do we go over that hurdle? The young people say they need jobs. You create jobs for them, whether they are party people or not. They need jobs. The job is done, they become albatross again. What do we do as a country? We must, that is why I said that for every government appointee, whether you are in the executive, whether you are a member of parliament, whatever that you call yourself, if you are seen to be part of this destruction, you should completely be disabled initially. so that it will serve as a deterrent, not just to be disabled from your political position, but to ensure that the laws that pertain to that you are taking on. Once you clear your home of all your appointees not being part, it is easier to deal with other people when they become tough miscreants.
Honorable, fair enough. I mean, how do we prevent them from corruption?
So the issue is this. It's like a cartel. And to fight a drug war and gold war is heavy. Look, the people must know why they are going for these jobs. The people must know that you are going for an income of, I'm just putting it, maybe 1,000 cedis, which might not be up to, even if you, in the space of corrupt issue, even if you pay 5,000, it's still not enough for you because they will come with bigger sums of money and so on. So I think that it should not just be the young men who have been employed to be the water police, the blue water police and so on.
The blue water guard.
The community should also be a watchdog on them. The assemblyman, the actors, and so on, and even other youth groups should be a watch on them.
On who?
On the young men that
on the guards.
On the guards.
But you created the guards. If the community can do it, why don't you let the community guard them?
My point is that these guards should also be watched and monitored, so that in times of this fight, you need information to deal with. Even it's just like the police. You recruit police people, and tomorrow you find some of them in armed robbery. The army too the same. These are properly trained people, but you find the miscreants there. You would also find them here, cannot run away. But it's early days here. But I think that the community should police them too. Okay. There should be a regular umbrella of good people who would continuously monitor them, unaware and so on. We should monitor that. At the end of the day, it should be that the issues of mining in water and forest reserves should be stopped completely.
All right. Talking about that, I just want to ask.
It should be holistic.
I want to ask this question. I mean, somewhere last year, we knew that the president then, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, said that he was going to make sure that there was going to be a repeal of the LI 2462. You're in Parliament. Has it done? Has it been done?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm sure something may come up. I'm yet to see the actions that the new minister will take. I think in his vetting, he mentioned something like that we need to repeal the law. He mentioned something like that, but we are yet to see something like that come. And when it comes, we look at the form which is coming, and we all contribute to it to make it better, so that at least we can protect our ecosystem, our forest reserves and so on.
Don't you think that if we repeal this LI 2462, then it means that it's going to reduce the number of galamsey we see in our water bodies and our forest reserves, and the fight will be easier for these young men who are being placed there?
Rosalind, it's not just about repealing the law, it's about enforcement. Enforcing the law is about education, letting people know how wrong it is, so that the communities
the people know it's wrong.
Not everybody really appreciates it. When you sit in Accra and you have to buy water every day and you get so cautious about how difficult it is to get water, then you start to think about our environment. And if you've learned accounts, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when you get to a certain level, you then start to appreciate other things. So there are people in communities where galamsey is going on. They know it's wrong, but they don't really appreciate the harm that the galamsey is causing, because to them is their source of livelihood at the moment. So they will not appreciate it. So we need to do more education for people to understand the harm that is causing. What is quite interesting that people should know is that they are trying to get their livelihood, but in effect, we are paying for it, because today in the budget, there's 50.3, about 50,360,000 cedis that has been earmarked to fight galamsey. And those in the entertainment industry, if you go to National Film Authority, their budget is less than 200,000 cedis. And we are going to use 50 million just to fight galamsey. I don't know if that 50 million is going to cater for the 2,000 youth. But at the end of the day, what I think about is, why should somebody go and dig? And my taxpayers' money is being used to chase the person around. Whilst institutions like Film Authority that could have put in better programs, film, brought together actors and so on to put productions that will sell Ghana are not well funded. So these are the questions that we need to ask ourselves as Ghanaians, that what is Galamsey doing to us? Are we getting any profits from it, or we are doing more harm to ourselves? And once we all come to that realization, which I think the advocacy has been strong enough, looking from the last election. What is quite worrying is the fact that people who were seen to be very vociferous in just the last year, today they've all gone to sleep. They've all gone to sleep. And it's becoming like people feel it's convenient when their government is not in power to talk about Galamsey. For some of us, we've always spoken about Galamsey.
That's what we are talking about, right?
And we need to be actively talking about this so that it doesn't go to sleep.
But that's what we are doing this morning.
That's what we are doing. You are doing it, but not everybody. And we shouldn't leave it to just the media. We shouldn't leave it to just the media. Because I quite remember the various groups who came to the extent that today you hear people talk about small-scale mining. Now there's the differentiation. But in the past, I didn't hear small-scale mining. Everybody was a Galamsey campaign in this country. Everybody. They were all lumped together to the extent that I remember some of the unions came out that the president should issue a stop to every form of mining, or the unions will not even go to work. And today, when you speak, the same unions will tell you that, oh, the small-scale mining, people are mining, and now we know that small-scale mining is better and Galamsey is different. That's always
been so, though.
It's always been so. It's always been so. But why do we change the narrative when it's convenient for us?
Which is which? How was the narrative changed? Nobody says small-scale mining.
Just a few months ago, people made us to believe that small-scale mining and Galamsey are virtually the same.
Okay.
That they were virtually the same. They were all using excavators now and chamfans and so on, and they were destroying our forests. And to the extent that even some of the small-scale miners were even doing it worse. And today we've all gone to sleep. Who is monitoring? I think, in effect, the only media houses that I hear them talk about it more is Joy, and sometimes City. And the only media guy that I see on the grounds doing a lot of work on this is Erastus, who is part of Joy, exactly. But apart from that, who else? Nobody is talking about it again. Everybody has gone to sleep.
All right. Honorable, I just want to find out from you. During last year, the president now said that he would have declared a state of emergency if he was in power. He's in power.
Yeah. A state of emergency will be declared certainly if they review everything that is happening there now, and also know that we have just been in power for this almost about we are going to a 10 month or so, about 60 days or so. But I think the issue is that, you see, when there's war, you mobilize both human resources and every resources that we get, including the media, to fight that war. And I think that has been the war trajectory that we have been. The Galamsey is like we are in a war. So all those who are perpetrating this crime, like I told you, and I think we are all aware, I'm surprised my brother was saying that Galamsey was, small-scale mining was lumped up with Galamsey. Small-scale mining, to some extent, contributed to Galamsey. I've said it here time and again. Some of these small-scale mining people are behind the Galamseyers. They are behind them. Look at the amount of gold that went to India. More than what we exported as a country. When you look at it, how did they get the gold? Did they pass through the right routes? Were these illegal miners that they bought from, the Indians bought from, and so on? So all this is good to tell the story. It's not an easy fight, and we will surmount it at the right time, because I know that if the security men are not politically interfered in their way, and they are allowed to map up the area, they'll flush them out, and that is what we want. We've given them all the strength, all the backing, and so on, and we are going to ensure that they do it. At the end of the day, we will all, as a country, clap for ourselves because we have been part of this collective fight against the people of this country, even children yet unborn. Galamsey and small-scale mining. We saw people who were in government at the time who were licensed galamsey people and who ought to know better.
Are there anything like licensed galamsey people?
Hey, licensed small-scale mining people, but you should know that if I slip...
No, I don't know what you're trying to say.
He was correcting you.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. If I slip to say that,
No, I didn't know that was what you're trying to say.
Licensed small-scale mining people, sometimes they are their most abusers. They would mine... Erastus here said they've done a lot of work on it, where licensed small-scale miners were mining close to rivers where they said that it must be 100 meters or so apart. And they were doing that. All sorts of investigations has been done. And that is what I told you from the beginning, that if your members of your political party that is in power, who are sometimes powerful, when they are in this galamsey and you don't stop them, it becomes difficult for you to stop. And that was one of the major issues that confronted...
Honorable, let me just ask you this quickly. Knowing that it's very easy to influence people because there's a lot of money in there. I mean, in the past, whenever we speak about galamsey, we speak about the influence of these galamseyers. Some of them are able to lure these persons into making money. Now, these are hungry people, hungry young men and ladies who are being tasked to guard the water bodies and fight galamsey. Yet, we still have this LI 2462 in Parliament, where it allows people to mine in forest and the water bodies. We were hoping that it will be repealed. Yeah. It hasn't been touched. Yeah. Now, when we take a look at what is happening, this particular issue, where we've seen military men who couldn't do it, these are people that have been really trained. Isn't this job for the boys?
I don't think it's job for the boys. How do you describe job for the boys when the country is at war? Every human being must be mobilized in terms of even material and so on. Definitely, people must also police the waters. You cannot say, it is when in the process of operationalization, then you see those who are weak, who cannot go with the discipline of policing water or the forest, that you withdraw them. And that becomes a deterrent. And when I talked about the fact that the community must also be policing them, it's a very effective
But they are part of the community, though.
No, you don't get it. Even the two of us, when we are part of an institution, you get a job, I don't get, you know the differences. I don't need to go in. Or even they prepare food for us, one mother, and I see that your food is always bigger than myself and my brother here. There's always an issue there. They are part, but you cannot also go and take different people to come and do the job. Would you go and take people from Sanama to come and do job in community A, when the youth in that community too are looking for the job and they've given them the necessary policing to do? Let's monitor them. If you don't monitor them, that's what I'm saying. Look, in every community, it has been done elsewhere, that you have a tier. While you are monitoring me, I'm monitoring you. Even political parties do it in terms of our polling station agents. You know, sometimes the two of us will be a pool, and there will be another 3 or 5 people standing elsewhere monitoring we those at the polling station. There can be a third one monitoring also those people. So there will be like first monitoring, second monitoring, and third monitoring. It can be done. Because if you don't involve the community must be part and parcel of this fight. Look, there are young men who will not be recruited, and they also want the job. If you misbehave, I can't tell you, look, Tim went and took money from your investigators. See that, yes, Rosalind gave me money in order for me to put a blind eye to it. I'll be removed, that fellow will be brought. It will be that way. It is when we put in these measures of policing, more than 3 tier and so on, the chiefs, they involve them, like he talked about the education. It's not just guns. It's not just police. It's also about intensive and everyday education. But let me tell you something. I tell my brother mentioned, it's not about the laws and the repeal. It's strict enforcement of the law. Even today, if we had gone or abide by the enforcement of the existing LI, about circumstances under which a forest can be entered into, probably we're not talking about repeal. We may not talk about repeal at all. But you see, we create a law, we abuse it, then we go back.
Why won't we talk about the repeal? It's been a problem. I mean, for most Ghanaians, when we talk about repeal, for most Ghanaians, Honorable, I understand you, but for most Ghanaians, it's a forest reserve for a reason.
Yeah.
is a water body for a reason.
Yeah.
Why even pass that law? Why pass that bill in the first place?
Yes.
This is a water reserve that is supposed to make sure that we have water for a very long time. Water is life. This is a forest reserve that we know that back in the day, if you're driving past it, we know what, forest bodies are supposed to be. So why even pass this LI in the first place? It's a question. I don't know how it came to being.
Laws have a historical antecedent. Laws are passed taking into consideration a lot of factors. The law that the LI that you are talking about, as at the time, it was okay to have such an LI because the issue of Galamsey wasn't a menace.
It was. It was.
No.
It was an issue, Honorable. Honorable, when was this LI passed? This LI was passed barely 8 years ago.
That is what I'm saying, that even if it is passed yesterday, at any given time, an LI or a law is passed, taking into consideration circumstances and conditions prevailing at the time. At a particular time in the operationalization of that law, if you find out that the law needs to be repealed, you repeal it and add on onto the law new developments and so on. For instance, we're not having cyber attack. We're not having issues of internet and so on. So you couldn't have passed law. Today, we are even going beyond the cyber attack and then passing other law to protect that. So laws are passed based on circumstances and conditions at a particular time. I am not for one saying that it should not be repealed, like you have put it this morning. If we repeal it and it will work fine. If we had even gone by the content of that LI, probably people is greed. What we are doing is greed.
All right.
It's absolute greed.
Okay.
Wow. In fact, where you are supposed to, you have not even finished mine.
Oh, no, but I want to.
You are going to lose.
Let Michael come in. And when Michael is done, I'll read some messages. So keep your messages coming in. Right after Michael is done, I'm going to read some messages.
What I wanted to add to support what he was saying is that at the end of the day, we will have the laws. We can amend or repeal, but if we don't enforce it, it won't work. Because even with the LI that we have as in estates now, if we were to go strictly by it, a lot of small-scale miners will not be mining. Because once you are given a mining license, it's not for you to go and mine directly. Most of these licenses that they gave them, they have to do exploration. And exploration is not the same as mining. Prospecting. They have to start with prospecting. Prospecting, let's say you've been given 10 acres. You go and you take like an acre, and that is where you prospect. And prospecting is not sending bulldozers to the ground. They have equipment that they use for prospecting. Even if you send an excavator or whatever, just a small place, then they dig and then check the quantity of the content of gold that the geologists are able to determine. Even now they have equipment that they're able to determine. And then they'll check whether there is rock under the soil or not, and whether there's gold in it. After you've done the prospecting, then you go back to the Minerals Commission, and they will determine how you are going to do your safety issues, the community, how you are going to liaise with the community. So you do community engagement for the community to accept that you are coming to mine there. You go through a long process.
Community engagement is very important.
But now people get a license for even prospecting. Most of these small-scale miners, for prospecting, and they move in with their machines that they are prospecting. They don't engage the community. They don't hold the community there. But if you hold the community there, and the community says no, even with the chief sitting and most of the youth groups say no, we will not allow it. They are not supposed to issue a license to you.
But they do.
They do. That's what I'm saying. If we are to enforce the current law in its current form,
that's what the problem is in Ghana here. The problem in Ghana here is that we pass these laws and we don't enforce it.
That's
and
the
knowing
point.
where the issue is, why do we even go ahead and pass it? Because if we know that we are going to I mean
without laws there will be chaos.
No, I understand. But some of these laws, how is there going to be
definitely
chaos?
there will be somebody who will come one day and become president, and that person will make sure it's enforced. And there will be somebody who will become an IDP or military commander who will make sure it's enforced.
I keep citing this story about Al Capone, the Sicilian mafia in the US. It got some time, they nearly gave up. But there was one FBI guy, like he's saying, an commander will come one day. And he used the same law. You know, we used to have laws, there was this law that has never been used. But at the time that they needed to use it, they used it, I would remember it. Okay. Look at Rosewood. rosewood became a big issue.
People were exporting rosewood.
Yeah.
And when I called one of the forest guards in Upper East to know why they would go and take rosewood from Sanoma, look at West Sanoma, and pass through all the, what do you call it, the barriers.
The barriers to the
barriers to Accra here. You know what, the guy told him that, look, my brother, even the whole north is a no-go area. You're not supposed to cut a tree because of the peculiar nature of the savanna region and so on. That, no, apart from rosewood, but rosewood became a big issue.
It became gold.
Government, what do you call it? People were involved. So it became a difficult issue, that issue. And you know what? The community that I was talking to prevent them, when you go away, they'll go and take money from the rosewood harvesters and allow them to do.
Anyway, this is the problem that we have in Ghana now. Let me read a few messages. Good morning, beautiful. In fact, I never regretted voting against the NPP, and I'll vote against them in 2028 again. So Afenyo Markins wants a hospital for himself because he's an MP. Why not advocating for funding to complete the 111 hospitals, but a special hospital for the MPs? NPP and the Markins will remain in opposition forever. Master Raman, Tuna, Sola, Tuna, Kalba. Good morning, Rosalind. Please, I want to know the exact mandate of the water guards. I'm asking because we seem to tickle ourselves too much in this country. Within which period and criteria was these so-called water guards selected? President Akufo-Addo provided logistics, including speedboats, for the Navy to protect our water bodies, especially in the Galamsey regions. What was the end result? Funny though, the soldiers who couldn't succeed in the fight against Galamsey are the same soldiers who are to train the so-called guys called water guards. Soldier form po enhuso na Adidas water guards. Amino in Sawom. Okay. Good morning. The government proposed tiered approach to school fees within the free SHS policy raises serious concerns about equitable access to education. The criteria used to determine fee paying eligibility must be transparent, objective, and free from any bias. Any perceived inequity in implementation risk undermining the fundamental principle of universal access enshrined in the free SHS policy. Instead of potentially divisive and subjective fee assessments, I propose the establishment of a dedicated National Education Fund. This fund would serve as a platform for philanthropic individuals and organizations to contribute directly to the sustainability and enhancement of the free SHS policy, ensuring that all Ghanaian students, regardless of socioeconomic background, have an equal opportunity to thrive. This collaborative approach, driven by collective responsibility, will fortify the free SHS policy and secure a brighter future for Ghana's youth. Timothy Annabella from Bechim. How do we determine those who can pay? If someone's salary is known for that matter, he can pay for his worst education. How do we also know the debts he owes people? Let's see how many people would agree to pay. This is a plan to cancel the free SHS. You can't carry the load. You are complaining that the part isn't good. This is from Emmanuel M.E.K. Gonyui. Is it Peze? Okay. Hassan Sise from Zeno Central says, good morning to everyone. Galamsey is a deadly canker which doesn't know any party color, whether blue or green, and the contaminated water, if not tackled well, will clear all of us, including the newly recruited guards, if they allow themselves to be corrupted. I believe that His Excellency JDM and the Land and Natural Resource Minister will not fail Ghanaians, and they cannot afford to fail Ghanaians because he is in to leave a good legacy. Akonsi Gariba from Tamale says that I applaud President Mahama for training 400 water guards to protect the water bodies in Ghana. I also plead with President Mahama to train 1,000 guards to stop bush burning in Ghana to protect the natural resources. Many farms have been burnt year in, year out without anybody being arrested for that reckless act. A lot of Ghanaians want to get into farming, but for that reckless bush burning in Ghana, it has discouraged the majority of Ghanaians not to invest into farming for the fears of their investment going into the drain. Bush burning must be stopped in Ghana now. My regards to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. This bush burning thing, we need to look into it. We do, but I know that back in the day, I know that your farm can also spark fire on its own, depending on the sun? Can it?
No.
It can't. It still has to be set by somebody. So there are people who are there, and this is what they do.
Yeah.
This is their job.
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially those who farm in large acreage in the Fimbisi valleys. That is within my constituency and Upper East region.
So people do it deliberately?
People do it
Sometimes it's not deliberate.
No, but we have the history.
People
Sometimes
go into the bush to
cook,
to catch game.
Okay.
Yes.
And then sometimes they'll use fire.
Ah.
And then
That one is
sometimes
a
people
different
also go
matter.
to the farm
And they
they'll cook. And then
they leave the fire.
And then there are some they burn. Maybe they are burning to till the land.
Yeah.
And then they are not able to guard,
Control
create a buffer zone. Then it extends to other farms. So there are various reasons in various.
So we'll take a look
talking
into it then.
Not that. I'm talking about farmland. If you go to the Fimbisi Valley or the overseas area, the farms are in huge acreages.
Yeah.
So you don't go there setting a farm because there's a time for harvest. And people normally police, and because the combined harvesters are not enough, people wait in their tents.
Okay.
So they can. And some unscrupulous people, sometimes you know what they do? I've heard about that. They'll catch a lizard.
I was
tie
coming
it
to see
with grass.
Yeah.
And then put fire when the lizard run into it. And when the rice is burned, it's dangerous because the seeds blast. It's like it's exploded. The sparkling and so on. So it is always very dangerous. It has been happening, but I think it has reduced drastically. When we were younger than this,
yeah, it was worse then.
It was so devastating.
So good morning. I wonder that the NPP people have now seen that using the taxpayers' money to fight Galamsey is wrong. When Chairman Wontumi and prominent NPP members were destroying our water bodies and forests, and yet still Akufo-Addo is spending huge sums of money to protect them, what did they tell him? Please, they were all benefiting because party here sika. For others, party doesn't need money. Obia here sika. Jake from Asaman Kese. All right, so let me go into this one because I'm going to be doing the free SHS thing. Good morning. Someone is proposing a hospital for parliamentarians. Someone is proposing, okay, free SHS was safely implemented due to political greed to win power. It's not good for a country heavy debt. Okay, after school, where is the job? Ghana, oh Ghana, we are just doing things without a direction. Good morning. Someone is proposing a hospital for parliamentarians. What of poor rural farmers who want everything for yourselves? Please, our tax money, do it from your pockets. All right, so let me go into the topic of the free SHS before I go into the other one. So free SHS has been there for the past 8 years. It was the biggest campaign promise of the NPP, which they implemented. Of course, they did have a few hitches here and there. During elections, they did mention that they were going to make sure that they get it better. The NDC, during elections, did say that they will research it and get it better. Now, what we are hearing from the NDC is that they are still going to make it better. However, Otumfuo Seisu Otekoko Sonana has said that if people can pay, they should allow them to pay and not put the burden on the taxpayer. And for this, some people feel once it's done, then there's going to be that progressive free SHS. And so it's going to be, in a way, a cancellation of the free SHS that the NPP started. Honourable.
Yeah, I think the issue about free HSS is that we all agree in this country that it's good. Take it or leave it, it has been a respite to a lot of kids who could not progress after the JSS results due to financial challenges. Even we in the North who were benefiting from free education, there are some aspects we still paid. People don't know this. What we don't pay is the feeding. What we don't pay is the exam fees and so on. That one is taken by government, but we pay other fees and so on. So what happened in the North is that when we're in school, sometimes at the assembly, you know those old days of doing things, they'll come and mention your names. They'll come and mention your name. Tim, you haven't paid your school fees. Come out. Rosalie, you haven't paid. Honorable, you haven't paid. Then we, those who have not been paid, it's a matter of warning us and that they are going to prevent us from eating our food and so on.
Not writing exams.
Not writing exams and so on. So it became, even as though they were not paying fully, it became very difficult for some of us to pay. Unlike some of us whose mothers were in the public service and our parents were doing public, it was easier and so on. But other people, it was a real problem for them, even though we're not paying for the major. The major one has been the feeding, the cost of boarding, and including the examination fees. And so that has been the major thing. So for me, the current free HSS, what we talked about and what most people in the education sector, including CEOs, talked about was the implementation and the lack of dedicated government source of funding to it. You know, initially we were told that some, the annual budgets, what do you call them? Funding, they came to the oil revenue that will be used to do the funding. The fundings were not coming at the right time, food shortages, textbooks, and a whole lot of issues. The places were congested and so on. I keep citing my son when I sent him to St. Hubert. He's not there now, so I can mention the school. The head, yes, you know these things.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. You see, we are living in a society where people who want to do the right thing are attacked. And I kept saying that this free HSS policy would have been properly defined and well refined. We wouldn't have been talking about it today if the managers of free HSS at the time were allowed freely to talk about it. But one of the major obstacles was that anytime they wanted to talk or complain about the challenges, they were got. We see headmasters who were suspended and so on. It came to a head on that they even said that parent-teacher association should not pay anything. Yet behind the scenes, we were paying. We were on WhatsApp, they would say that we have to send 100 Ghana for them to buy food for the students and so on. Feeding was a major problem and so on. So one we did in our manifesto, we said that we talked about the review, and I was happy that not just the NDC talked about it. There was the copious research that was done by Education Care, by Kofi Asari and so on, and other players of the area. Then the numbers were not even tallying. Today, the government has spent 10 billion on the free HSS. PAC has challenged this on the floor of Parliament a lot of times and so. Today, as we talk, the Education Minister has said that the 5.7 million students, they said the benefited wasn't so. It's just about 3 million students and so on. And I've seen the former education, the spokesperson, this young man, what is the name? The PR, yes, saying that now that the NDC has won, they should send the students to Kempiski or the other one, Kempiski, and then...
give them fried rice.
You understand? So, you see, we are not tackling the issue. We have played ball with it up to today. Ken Oforiatta himself, who was releasing the man, and said that, look, he feels that there are some people who can pay. I've heard Professor Adai also saying that it should be reviewed, and people who can pay should be able to pay. But we are living in this part of the world, in this society, that people, whether they can pay or not, want to even enjoy free education. One, even you see people who can pay for their students to go to abroad or overseas and do courses, but they want to even benefit from Get Fund scholarship for their students. Yeah, we know that this fellow can even sponsor about 10 people to go outside and do courses and come.
So, Honorable, you're saying that you have to do what Otunfo is saying. Is that
No. I'm just giving okay. I'm coming there.
Please let me give you 1 minute. You've spoken for like 5 minutes
The
already.
major issue is the dedicated funding, which we have found a solution to.
Okay.
When we look at the fact that we have decapped Get Fund, it's going to add not less than 3 billion or so. Then we are using part of the tax, the tax refund and it will add another 4 billion. So with this dedicated source of funding, I think the issue of funding has been resolved if they are going to go according to that. And I believe that the review that we did, the major issue was the dedicated source of funding. We found a solution to the dedicated source of funding. That is why, even when you look at the budget, we also said that we're going to do the first year university paying and so on. We're going to do the sanitary part. These are all the education sector. We are going to do the textbooks for them. So for me, yes, Otunfo is saying this because he has lived through it. He has seen how the challenges of the free HSS has come about and so on. But he thinks that if people can pay, why not? If people can pay, they can pay. At the time we were doing we were in the North benefiting. Anytime a Northerner had admission in the South here, he was supposed to pay. But we'll go to the scholarship secretariat and exempt him from.
Okay.
Anytime a Southern student was also in the North, to attend boarding school. He was asked to pay, but you know, some of these things, the head teacher do not even take them. You understand? They just allow them to pass and so on. So even with the old one, it was like that. If you could pay, you pay.
Yeah.
That was why when it came to the issue.
So that's the old one.
Yeah. When it came.
So we are going back to the old one.
No. That's his suggestion. But I'm saying that the major issue for the free SHS was a dedicated source of funding. Initially, we were budgeting and funding. That was it. But now that we have the cap get fund, there's enough money to take on and to pay.
Okay.
And one of the issues the Minister of Finance said that they are not going to accumulate arrears, even including the nurses and teachers' allowances. It will be paid. There won't be arrears accumulated and so on. So once the dedicated, because you cannot, there's nothing to be compared to human resource development of your youth anywhere in the world.
I'll come back to you and I'll give you more questions, but I just want to ask Michael. Michael, do you agree with Otufo's 82?
Well, with all due respect, not exactly, because I believe in the free SHS because we live in communities. We know how people struggle to send their wards through the secondary education. And what I've been thinking about, and even during the campaign I used to say the same, is that when people say need assessment, people who can pay should pay. How do you determine that Rosalind can pay, or Honorable Timothy can pay, or Honorable Aidoo can pay? We live in a country where when it comes to issues where we need to do selection, those at the top always get first priority. For instance, scholarships. How many poor people's children are able to access scholarships and funding? It gets to who you know. When it even comes to postings to particular places like, let's say, nursing training, teacher training, and other institutions. Even police. It gets to who you know. Okay, so if you're not careful, we will implement a free SHS policy where we say those who can pay should go and pay. And we will end up marginalizing the poor, those who can pay, because they don't know anybody. Tomorrow, if you wake up and the president says, okay, we've changed free SHS in its form and that those who can pay should go and pay, a minister of state will pick a phone and call the Minister of Education, or an MP will call the Minister of Education and say, oh, my ward is in Wesley Girls, please include them. And that kind of situation. And you in, let's say, Bontefufu or Enche or somewhere, who are you going to call? That is the problem. So in its current form, everybody is going, everybody is attending. The most important thing is where we are getting the funding from. If it's a dedicated source of funding that we are all paying, every Ghanaian is contributing through the taxes. And at the end of the day, even those at the top may even be paying more taxes than those down there.
That's what it is.
Exactly. So we all share through the collective payment, and everybody benefits. But the moment we start to do selection and say, okay, let's cater for only those who cannot pay. When we enter secondary school, how are you going to determine whose parent can pay? If a parent comes and their income is very low, and they are well-dressed, the headmaster looks at them and says, oh, this man, the way he looks, he can pay. Meanwhile, he may not be able to pay.
Maybe, just maybe, they might ask for your pay slip.
How many people disclose their pay slip? How many people, even if we come to multimedia, how many people will be willing to show their pay slip to anybody?
They will still argue why that money is not enough.
Yes. People will be able to argue why it's not enough. So at the end of the day, I believe we should leave it in its current form. It's good that the government says they are dedicating funding from the capital, the Get Fund, from the Get Fund.
Yeah.
What is going to happen is good. What is going to happen too is that the Get Fund was put there to cater for infrastructure. So there's also going to be an effect on that side.
Yeah. Because
we know the student population keeps increasing, and we need more infrastructure. So there's going to be a reduction in the amount that will also go into infrastructure. Unless the government wants to tell us that over the last years, a lot of infrastructure has been put in place, and today we do not need so much infrastructure.
Do we have a lot of infrastructures put in place?
No, a lot was put in place, but whether it's adequate is also another issue.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Unless they are trying to tell us that a lot was put in place, and because of that, if you let me learn, and because of that, we may not need so much infrastructure now. So they are shifting their priorities to the payment of the fees. So they are moving get funds to the payment of the fees. There's also the tax refund that they are moving to support free SHS. It is nothing new. Tax refund has been always there. You have, I don't know if you've ever...
I've never received. Okay,
exactly.
I haven't filed yet.
That is what
but I hope that I will receive one day.
That is what a lot of financial guys are saying. That the moment people become aware that there is a money sitting there called tax refund, and that when you are taxed at the end of the year, you file and you are supposed to get something back. And everybody has to put in an application for their tax refund. What is going to happen is the amount in the tax refund is going to reduce, and government will not have that free money. Because over the last 10 years, records will show that every year we use about 46% of the tax refund to give out as tax refund. The remaining amount sits there, and government, when it's not used, government puts it in other projects and priorities. And that's the fund that the finance minister is going in to pick money to support these, the free SHS and the budget. So the moment people become aware and they start to file for more taxes, for more tax refunds, then there will be a shortfall. If you are not careful and a civil society comes out tomorrow and starts to educate people that they have the right to go back for their tax refund, it means government will now find itself wanting. And in the same vein, if GRA is not able to realize the amount of revenue that they are expecting, and you know, these budgets and things, they are estimates. If GRA doesn't realize the revenue that they are expecting, means there will be a shortfall in that tax refund, and government will find itself wanting. That is why I don't want to say, because we are taking money from Get Fund and tax refunds, so free SHS is going to be rosy, and that children will now be enjoying food like Mpiski and moving pick and so on. We don't want to conclude on that. We want to see its implementation. We want to see, when the MPP government started, you know, every policy, when you start, is very good. As it goes on, then you start to see the challenges. And then when the challenges come, you address them and you make it better. We've gotten to the point that the system has run for more than 8 years and more than 7 years, and everybody kind of understands the challenges. It's good that the government is trying to address them, because if we had one power, we definitely we would have addressed these challenges. I've seen them. You were in power. I said, if we had one power.
You were in power.
We were in power. We addressed them, because one of the key challenges that faced us when we introduced free SHS was accommodation. And we took the bold step to address accommodation challenges. At the end of last year, accommodation was not so much of a problem. Food was the problem. And we know there are various schools where headmasters and headmistresses were sanctioned because there were pilfering going on. People were pilfering the food. They were finding ways and means to move the food out of the school. Then they will send it to the parents that there's food shortage. I know a school, they appealed to me at a point that they needed support. Then teachers called me behind that, you know what, there's food there, but they are keeping it, they're holding, they've been moving the food out. I reported to the Ministry of Education through, is it Kwasi Aidoo? Yeah, I reported to him, he can attest. And he told me the same school had even been sanctioned before. Meanwhile, the parents had been made to mobilize food and were sending to the school. So if some of these challenges are not addressed, the government can push in all the money, they can push in all the food, the heads will find a way to make their money, and the system, the children will still go the way they are going now.
Well, yes, Honourable. I'll be reading a few Facebook messages soon, right after Honourable, I'm coming. Right after Honourable lands, I'm going to read a few Facebook messages, so you can go on Facebook and leave your comments there. I'll be there to read your messages in the next probably like 2 minutes.
You see, crime is a crime. Pilfering is a crime, it's stealing. That's not the issue that people were talking about. In fact, if you are put in charge of children, they are feeding, you steal, you have to be punished. We're talking about just the implementation had challenges. And some headmasters who genuinely face the challenges that complain, and they were sanctioned is what we are talking about. The tax reform account that he's talking about, we are taking it from it because, look, the tax reform account was what was used to pay the SML, Kelly GVG, and so on. These were amounts that were sitting there. We are not saying that every government fund is fungible. You will spend it at the time is required, but it should be put into productive expenditure so that the people benefit from it. Even the tax refund is talking about the fact that, yes, if people become aware, it's done other countries. I think the issue is the mismanagement of a lot of funds in this country. Look at state-owned enterprises and so on. Look at the amount of money they owe. If we get just 100th of that, we can do our free HSS. Look at ECG. You mismanage ECG funds, then you put it on us, on customers for your inefficiencies and so on. Look at Cocoa Board. Look at ECG and the water. It's over 100 billion. And how much is the free HSS? And so even if we're paying 10 billion a year for our children, is that bad? We're investing in them so that they can take over from us. We know all this, and it's the mismanagement. Look at the Auditor General report, my brother.
Honorable, let me ask you a question. If roads are bad and the government awards road contracts, is that mismanagement?
No, that is not.
Okay, so then I'm coming to your point.
Okay.
For instance, you mentioned Cocoa Board.
Yeah.
Cocoa Board has a liability of about 32.5 billion. Out of the 32.5 billion, about 25 billion is Cocoa Roads, which the government moved roads from the ministry to Cocoa Board to fund. So that is not mismanagement.
You see,
and the rest of their liabilities runs all the way from 2017. 2017, there was a liability of about 8 billion. And that has run on their books till now, and they've been managing this, paying the interest and so on, and accumulated.
You see?
So we have to be careful how we demonize state institutions.
I'm not.
A lot of them are not
in terms of.
I get you, Michael.
Look at the rules that were awarded without commencement certificates and so on. You see, there are challenges.
What I was driving at is that I think that with the free SHS, what I was trying to say is we are trying to get dedicated funding, but if the source of funding it could be problematic in due time, then we have to also look at those issues and question it. Because that's why I'm saying that the tax refund, people may come and collect more refunds, and it will affect the funding. And apart from that, if GRA does not get its revenue, is the amount of revenue GRA will get, that will be sent, the percentage will be sent to the tax refund. So if GRA doesn't realize its revenue, it means that there will be a shortfall in the tax refund, and you will not get the money you're expecting to go and support the free SHS. So you can talk about mismanagement in other institutions, but that tax refund that you have put your whole hopes on, you can have issues where you will not, you will not.
But then again, if we also manage other institutions better to save money in those institutions, we can channel these monies into the free SHS.
You know how these things are done.
Okay. Oh no, but let me read a few messages. I beg you. Musa Abatua says President Mahama has demonstrated his strong commitment to fighting the Galamsey minutes by appointing a competent and incorruptible Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa as the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. Under his leadership, we are already seeing results in the battle against illegal mining. While it's true that President Akufo-Addo has failed, this shouldn't be seen as a reflection of President Mahama's abilities to succeed. The difference lies not in the approach, but in its sustainability and consistent execution. Timothy Anabela says, good morning. The government's proposed a tiered, I think I've already read this one, so let me go to the next one. Sami Boachi Asamanke says that a nation overwhelmed by despondency and political duplicity is it not captivating and disturbing? Even those with firearms were unable to resist the Galamseyers. How can branch executives and a team designated as water guards be appointed to fight Galamseyers? These individuals with sharp teeth are defending the indefensible, and the question remains, will this NDC be prepared to eradicate Galamsey from the system? Ghanaians must be informed. Regards to Potozwa, DC Not 1 says, good morning, everyone. The government must employ people stop this hidden employment. Thank you. My name is Gabriel from Pandai Northern Region. All right, thank you, Gabriel, and thank you to all of you that sent your messages on Facebook. Go back on WhatsApp and read a few more comments. Roslyn, Ken Ofori-Atta decided to sue the whole of Ghana. Nobody cares. All we care is he should come and answer to the people of Ghana for his stewardship. Ghanaians are waiting on him, so he should stop all the antics. Ofori-Atta and MPP should not think they are more Ghanaian than the rest of us. What inside Asantehene? Roslyn, good morning. Point of correction, Otunfo is not Otekoko Nana, rather the Otekoko. So, all right, the Otekoko Nana are the subjects of the kingdom. All right, thank you very much for this. I like that. Thank you. Wafa Clay sends it. Wafa Nyamishao, I like it. Thank you. I like to be corrected when I'm wrong. So he's Otekoko. So Otunfo is Otekoko. We are the Otekoko Nana. That's what he's saying. So he's saying that Otunfo is Otekokoso, and we are the Nana. The person actually greeted you, though. He says that... He knows that. Yeah, so he's saying that the Otekokoso Nana are the subjects of the kingdom.
Yes.
And so
the
Otunfo is Otekokoso.
Yes,
that's what it is. And I said he's the Otekokoso Nana. Yes,
and
so
we are his grandchildren.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So thank you very much for the correction.
Good morning to Ofakle. I know him.
Oh, you know him, eh? That's nice. Alhaji Hamza Pekma says, good morning, Roslyn. We should try to be truthful to ourselves and speak the truth for once in this month. In my humble opinion, this so-called river guards is totally a waste of our resources, and it will not yield any results. Are we saying today our military and the police cannot stand up to these criminals, galamseyers, then what should be paid monthly salaries? Remember, these galamseyers operate with weapons, and even our security agencies could not stand up to them. How much more river guards who are not equipped with any weapon? Look, let's get serious in this country. At least we know where our river bodies and forest reserves are. So why do we move the security agencies there to push off the fire once and for all? They cannot afford to fail the good people of this country. In any case, why not declare the state of emergency in those areas and put this off once and for all? I'm tired with all this concert. All right. Good morning, Joy Prime. Please, the matter of some parents paying fees and others not paying is not a good policy. If school is free, then it must be applied to everyone, but not political gains and serving few party members with the acts of classifying some parents. They just want to use these strategies to serve their party members. We are all Ghanaians who know discrimination that some can afford and others can't afford. After all, what are their qualifications for needy but brilliant? Hassan Cisse from Zeno Central says, I've read this one, right? Okay, sorry about this. For SHS suggestions, whether to pay or not to pay, is the Asantehene suggestions, and he should be ready to pay for 1/3 of Asante students since he have enough. Don't say that. Don't say he just suggested, so don't say that.
He didn't get it.
I'll say Bonsu, Duaya Kanta says, good morning, Roslyn. Kind regards to your panel. Please, the issue of education in Ghana is becoming political football, and our leaders should be careful on what's going on in the sector. The resetting agenda, I believe, should include depoliticizing the sector and allowing people with the skills to run the sector. We don't want what happened with one-time premium promise that never materialized. We are watching. Did I hear from the former MP saying that it's Ghana fight, we vote for them to solve our problem, not to lament about them? NPP failed to fight Galamsey, NDC should not fail us. President John Mahama can't fail us. The president have all the security system to fight Galamsey. The reason why they don't want to fight it because the politicians are benefiting from the Galamsey. Good morning, Roslyn. Solomon from Bolga. Okay, Solomon, thank you so much. Let me see. I'll do. Okay, Honorable Akesme from Sitri Bekwai. Good morning, Rosalind. I wholeheartedly support the Blue Water Guard initiative. Training 400 guards to protect our water bodies from the devastating effects of Galamsey is a crucial step towards preserving our environment. These guards will play a vital role in safeguarding our water sources, preventing pollution and ensuring the health and well-being of our communities. I commend the organizers for this initiative and urge our leaders to provide the necessary resources and support to make this program a success. Together, we can protect our environment and ensure a brighter future for generations to come. All right. I'll do. Good morning, Rosalind. The current government is doing everything possible to fight Galamsey. Let's support this initiative of Water Guard to protect our environment. God bless JDM. My regards to my sister, Zanato Rollins. Okay, this is Rollins from a OPK Patriotic Voices Go also says, regards to Dr. Digitalization Baumia and Honorable George Boache from Ahafo Regional Minister, the free SHS, which was introduced by Nanado and Dr. Digitalization Baumia and MPP, has come to stay, and they manage it for 8 years with many infrastructure for schools, which was unprecedented and feeding. Moreover, Mahama and NDC promised to continue it after 8 years. There is no need to complain on accommodation and feeding. If Nanado, Baumia, and NPP government provided everything in 8 years, are you sure they provided everything in 8 years? Even Honorable Michael Aidoo said yes, there were a few challenges. He says, regards to Stephen in team. All right, thank you very much. The greetings, we like it. All right, so that'll be all with my message. Okay, Musa Abatwa Sawasi. President Mahama has demonstrated a strong commitment to fighting Galamsey. I think I've read this one on Facebook. This one says, changing IGP Dan Parry is President Mahama's greatest mistake. Unfortunately, we are not talking about this one for today.
You not forgive him for this decision.
All right, so this will be our messages. Hey, somebody says he's giving assignment to. Okay, don't worry. We'll come back and come and do Overclear.
24 public senior high schools in Ghana. 763 of them.
Overclear says that, Rosalie, I'm giving you this assignment. Let your research team challenge this. Under the previous Nanado Baumia, out of 824 public senior high schools in Ghana, 763 of them got a minimum of 3 physical infrastructure projects, dormitories, classrooms, assembly halls, etc. Even that was not enough. And now part of Get Fund is redirected from infrastructure. What for Claire? All right. Thank you all, those of you who sent in your messages.
But what he has said is a justification that we have to even read the letter, because if with the capping you can do this, then the decapping would also take other aspect of it, you understand? So what he has said is even justifying the fact that the decapping and then putting some in the free case is the right thing to do. So for me, I think that it's not just the infrastructure, but infrastructure that is contains, we have furniture problem too and so on. And all these things come back to the same point that let's build our youth. Human resource development is very, very important for this country as moving forward, especially in this global world that you must have a youth that can be competitive wherever that they find themselves in the global space. So for me, whatever that we do to ensure that our children get the best of education is done. Talking about the someone paying and so on, you know, when we're in school, we had to take Senate loans, is that not it?
Yeah.
The student loan.
You know, some people come with steady leave with pay, and yet they still take the student loan.
Did you take some? I never did, though.
I took.
I did. A friend of mine warned me that all my siblings took it, but when I got to school, my friend said to me, Rosalie, you can survive without it, so try to survive without it. So I tried.
My daughter never took. She told me that.
Anyway.
They told them that they would be deducting from their salaries. so none of them took. But at our time, people were really taking salaries and taking the loan in addition. You understand? Yet others also came without no salary at all.
Okay.
And they managed this loan.
Yeah. Let's move on to our next topic. It's to do with Parliament. And, of course, with this particular conversation, we'll have to do it in a nutshell, like, you know, round it up quickly. The minority leader, Honorable Afenyo-Markin, has actually asked the Speaker of Parliament to help them so they can create a hospital for parliamentarians. It's come with a lot of backlash. Now, as he said this, the majority leader opposed it. Now, this is what the minority leader said. He said, There are two things that I look forward to seeing happen in the 9th government. One, a hospital for Parliament. If it does happen in accordance with your vision, it will be a great aspect. We are in the political class. Our health issues are to be known within certain confines because of confidentiality. At all people travel abroad at great costs for medical support. So because of confidentiality, he's calling for this. And he's saying that that's the reason why a lot of his colleagues travel abroad. So we should build with them a hospital. It's been met with a lot of reactions. He's your minority, he's your leader.
Yeah.
Are you support?
Those are his views.
Okay.
Rightly so, he has the right to his views. But then I believe he may not be saying we should build a new hospital. Institutions can adopt particular hospitals and say, this is our hospital. This is where all our staff attend for medical care. So, for instance, the Senate Hospital, Parliament can say, institute a policy where all members of Parliament attend the Senate Hospital for health care. Currently, what we have is a clinic.
Okay.
Inside Parliament, when you get to the ground floor, it's a very small clinic.
The emergency clinic.
And the clinic is just for emergency purposes, and they can't even handle emergency. I think when you come to Parliament and you have small issues, then you pass there and then they will check the normal things, the OPD kind of facility. Then after, they may refer you to other hospitals. And I would say he went further to even talk about the chamber. And these are privileges that I believe that currently it has to be looked at. We have to look at it as a nation. A lot of parliamentarians, that if you know the stress that comes with the work, that sometimes you sit in the morning to evening, like 7 p.m. and so on, and you might not even get, it's quite interesting. It's even difficult to get food around the place. So you might not even get food. People, if they are not able to drive outside or send someone to get them food, they might not even eat the whole day. And you realize...
Let's get a restaurant in there.
Yeah, these are all things, but
cafeteria.
Then can the facility accommodate all these things?
Well, now churches have cafeteria.
Yeah, so these are all considerations that I think with time we have to look at. So it's not just about the hospital, but about the environment, trying to create situations where members of Parliament will have some convenience and also, like you said, some level of privacy. You
don't have the privacy?
Well, now, those days I could walk and enter anywhere, but now it's not the same. Now I even get to a place and I think I'm disguising myself and somebody can, oh, Honorable, I know you, I saw you on Joy Prime. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even hide anymore. So if you go to a hospital and you are not well, you enter and then the next thing you know, your conscience gets a message and say, I saw Honorable in a hospital. Then you are getting like 50 calls. Honorable, are you okay? We heard you are in the hospital and this and that. And maybe that moment, you just want to reflect. You are not well, you just want to reflect and go home quietly. The phone calls alone will not even allow you because everybody is concerned about you because they heard you are not well.
But I thought a lot of you have family doctors.
You have a family doctor, but which hospital? Any hospital you enter, somebody will see you.
Because
a dedicated hospital where we know that, okay, if a SNIT specialist at OSU that we've dedicated, you go there, they know that, okay, this session for members of Parliament.
But they do have it at 37.
37 is after you've been referred from the clinic.
You can actually go to 37 straight away.
Yeah, but it's not the same. We are in this country. The former president, Atamels, they took him to 37. Within seconds, news was flying all over that this thing had happened. There's no confidentiality. So some of these things we really need to look at. I'm not saying we should put up a new hospital. At the end of the day, I even believe we can even put money into the Agenda 111, and I've seen funding the La General Hospital ongoing. I've seen that this government has also allocated, the last budget they allocated about 200 million, and this year there's about 70 million or so. It means that there's been progress of work, so they've allocated some 70 million to complete what has been done. These hospitals coming up, at the end of the day, it gets to a point where we will be there. We will be close to where we want to reach as a nation. Maybe one of these hospitals, we should set up a special department in there to cater for these things, but not necessarily to build new ones.
Okay, so I like that, but I know, like I said, 37 does it. You know, 37 has a special place for
that's
these
what I'm saying.
people.
So it forms the same.
Yeah.
Into
So
the same
maybe what we need is we need more.
37. There's even a phase 2 of 37.
Maybe what we need is, you know, almost all the general hospitals should have a special place for, you know, such people. Because in 37 is there.
What we're doing in this country is that.
Yeah. I know for a fact. I know for a fact. It's not. You don't think so?
I don't want to argue with you because you have experienced it.
Yes.
But let me land. What we're doing in this country is that for political expediency, sometimes we the political class, we're always in a rush to rubbish these things because it puts us on the path where people assume and see us to be the ones propagating their needs and showing care. Okay, but if we are not careful, we'll get to the point where we will have a political class with a lot of issues on their heads, medical issues, and people may not even be able to come out. How many MPs? The honorable leader mentioned that some MPs travel outside the country because they don't want their privacy to be seen or something. How many MPs can even travel outside the country? You in Parliament, how many of them on their own can seek medical care?
Okay, let me go to Honorable.
You see, first of all, sometimes I like the way Honorable Aidoo subtly said that was his leaders or our leaders' own view. Fine, but you see, Parliament does not generate revenue.
Yeah.
Parliament expenditure is charged on the consolidated fund. Just like all other departments, expenditure is charged, including emoluments. We know the state of the country's finances and so on. So sometimes when these things come, it's just to probably Afanya Markin with his antics would want to divert some conversation. He knows what he's about. And even the issue of a chamber, a new chamber too, was discussed. You know, this issue was brought up during the MPP time, and they said drop that chamber. You remember the campaign against it was dropped and so, because when things are hard in the country, you don't propose things that they are not of immediate need to the people. You must take the people into consideration, because our parliament is a representation of the people of this country. Basically, we are doing participatory parliamentary democracy and so on. There are hospitals. When I came to Parliament, we were asked to go to Kolebu to do our medical, what do you call it?
The checks?
The checks. So they'll create a private file for you, so that it is you and your doctor at Kolebu who knows what is in that file and so on. We were able to go through and so on. And today we even have hospitals like the Bank Hospital, the Maritime Hospital, the UGMC. The UGMC and other better facilities.
Honorable, your time, what was your number?
We were 275.
275. Oh, you were part of the 275?
I was part of the 275.
Oh, okay.
And so on. So it was a basic requirement. And I think that in a country where our hospitals are in dilapidated stages, because to put such a hospital is not ordinary. The cost will go up. The cost can build more than 5,000 cheap compounds. For the people we go in for their votes. But if we can get a donor funding that can do that for Parliament, because there are a lot of associations we go to, because they also visit here. They could visit here one day and some of them would have been collapsing, and that hospital can save them and so on. We can source that funding, and I think Parliament has the capacity to do that with their interactions and so with the Commonwealth and so on. So to do a separate one, look at your people first. Are we in the capacity to do that? Because, look, I was in Parliament and I did surgery, minor surgery, not a big one. And why I did it, I won't tell you.
We don't want to know. We don't want to know.
You know, I got up one day and I had serious pain. I couldn't feel it. We had a parliamentary doctor. These people did Dr. Ite. He's a calm guy. And the guy, when I went to that morning, he just saw that I was in pain. So he told me to meet him at the civil service. They have a hospital or a clinic at the ministries. So I went there and met him. When he just looked at me, he said, no, Tim, I'll call one of my friends who is a good surgeon, and he's at the clinic that they pulled down,
Yeah.
so that the two of them will meet and see what they do. And when I was restless, when I got there, he came immediately, they examined me, and they didn't immediately do it, but around 2-3 days, they did a surgery. I did it at the lab, clinic that had been pulled down. And when I was there later on, they got to realize, he knew that I was an MP, so the doctor, but the nurses later on got to realize that I was an MP, and they tried to put the place tidy a bit. We can understand this. Then I was also on, and I was also on the health committee. What I'm saying is that sometimes the hospital that we neglect today is our savior tomorrow. You understand? So while we are advocating for a better health facilities for our members of parliament, because of the work they do, they crisscross this country. Some of them don't even see the phone calls alone. I've gone to, even a former MP is even getting worse, how much more a sitting MP and so on. When you look at all these challenges, but is it the right time to demand that? I think that is no. And then we should focus on resetting our financial systems and our economy. When things are better, the people of this country can say, look, our people are working so hard. Let's see how we can support them. But the clinic that is there, I've attended there. I may even be attending there for 1 or 2 issues. But when you go there, it's quite a good place. It looks nicer than other places. And the 37, you see what is happening in 37? They have a VIP session. And that one you pay as a private patient. And it's not for just people. If you can pay and then you happen to unfortunately be there, you'll be there. And I think most hospitals have created that aspect. A block such a way that you can have your privacy while the doctor comes to see you. But
the minister also has, the MPs also have access to that place.
They have.
Yes.
That is what I'm saying. That depends on your packet. It's also open to the public too. And I think generally at the UGMC there should be something like that, this modern hospitals and so on. So for me, I think that for now, we better.
So Rosalie, I think the timing for the hospital is not right.
It's not enough,
No, I mean
it's not right.
Yeah. Maybe in the near future we may consider. But now, even with the chamber, I sit at the back. Sometimes when you stand to catch the eye of the speaker, you do not have any space. No space. So you stand like this and you are struggling. So the whole time you are standing to speak,
the camera doesn't pick you.
Yes, the whole time you are standing to speak, you see that your legs, you are really suffering because there's no space. And when people are moving behind you,
you couldn't get space in the flight.
When people are moving behind you, you need to squeeze yourself like this. And sometimes they push you before they can move behind you. Sometimes you have to get up and leave your seat for somebody to pass. It's really tight in the chamber. Because that chamber was not built for 275 MPs. From DH Mensa time, those in Nkrumah old days, they were not even exactly. But now it's very difficult.
The problem we have in Ghana is our maintenance culture, and we hardly do renovations. We hardly maintain the places.
No, but I think for Parliament, they maintain the inside. They maintain the inside.
It looks nice.
Yeah,
but once you realize that your numbers were increasing, something should have been done about it. You don't have to build a new edifice.
The building is an old building.
They adjusted the parliament, that's why it took
The building is an old building. And if you want to expand it, you need to brick to expand it.
They've even done a lot of
redesigning
in the chamber.
We are hoping that things get better in parliament, though.
And
because you speak on our behalf, and you struggle for us, so we need you to get
calling that her constituency is so huge. She wants us to divide her constituency into 4. One of them is MPs. Some MPs are even calling that, like my constituency.
It's huge.
Yes, we have a voter population of 110,000.
Ooh,
and
that's big.
The constituency population is about 350,000.
Ooh, how are you able to take care of all of them?
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, it makes a lot of sense. Anyway, but we are hoping that the parliamentarians are comfortable because they speak on our behalf. And just like they said, the time might not be right for the hospital, but we wish them to also have a good life because they speak on our behalf. That's all time of purposes, gentlemen, and I'm very grateful that you made time for us this morning. My guests have been Honorable Timothy Awonche Matabwade, who represented the NDC, and Honorable Michael Aidoo, represented the NPP. Very grateful that you made time. And to all of you that sent in your messages, we are super, super grateful. Let's do this again tomorrow, but we still have more conversations coming up. We have What's Trending. Today, we are going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary with Plant and Medicine, the School of Plant and Medicine. They'll be here for us to celebrate their 50th anniversary. So it's going to be a fantastic time in the studio. You don't want to miss that. We'll have Nathaniel Atto coming in with sports as well. So all our shows is going to be amazing. Just be a part of it. And don't forget that throughout the show, you can still send in your messages to us, and we will definitely be reading all of them. My name is Roslyn Felly. I am not done yet. We have more to come your way. Enjoy the rest of your show.
If you're happy and you know, clap your hands.
Education, often hailed as the foundation of the future, is falling apart in this farming community. At Sechilbo DA Basic School, the earlier stages of learning have become a struggle no child should endure.
We are 3 professional teachers in the school year. With that number, we divided the classes, the grades into 3, because we want each level should also have something. So one of the problems is the classes are not even enough. So we have 3 class rooms, and we have to use those classrooms. So we have divided them into 3, KG 1, 2, and Basic 1 in one class, P2, P3 in another class, P4, P5, and 6. And we are handling them. We are not finding things easy. It's very difficult for us, but we are managing. Be you okay, man?
Multi-grade teaching is not a choice here. It is a necessity, one that compromises the quality of education and the future of these children.
Frankly speaking, we have not been fair. We have never been fair to these young children. The children are suffering. How can a child sit on the floor to write? Some, even we have to buy mats for them to be able to sit so that they will be a little bit clean.
The recent delivery of textbooks to Sechilbo DA Basic School offers little solace when the lack of desk leaves these books vulnerable to wear and tear.
With the textbooks, if you don't have a sitting place, with the textbook, these children, they are young. They are not like grown up like us. We can hold and write. They are small. We are teaching them. But with the textbook, how would they write? So at least they should come to our aid.
The school feeding program is a lifeline for education, providing meals that boost enrollment, keep children in school, and help them focus on learning. Unfortunately, pupils at Sechilbo DA Basic School go through their day on empty stomachs, with hunger competing against education and causing enrollment to decline.
The school feeding, which will have also helped to increase the enrollment, I and my head, we applied. Still, we have not heard any information about it. We're also planning to even mobilize ourselves to see if the community can help. Then we'll do some gardening for the school. When we harvest, then we'll be using it to do porridge for the children in the morning. That will also help them to come. Okay, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, we need teachers.
I'm a native of this community. But recently, I completed my education in Iba. From there, after I completed my education, I said, no, let me come back to my first station or my old school to help my junior brothers so that they can also be well educated from me.
Joshua's story is one of hope and sacrifice, but even his addition cannot fill the gap left by shortage of professional teachers.
On the average, most of our primary schools have less than 4 teachers. On the average, most of them have 2 teachers, 3 teachers. The school that we could say is very lucky will be in Tatale Township here, maybe about 5 teachers, the primary school. So that's how bad the staffing situation is.
And I doubt how a class 1 child can learn class 3 subjects. And they are all learning the same thing. So it means the lower ones are being polluted because they can not even pronounce 2-letter words. How can they be writing the sentence to read the whole sentence?
Claire, please pay attention.
For these children, the future seems uncertain. Poor infrastructure and inadequate staff have created a crisis that demands urgent intervention.
The children themselves are quite cooperative, but for some time now we are also trying to also involve much attention from their parents so that they will help together with us to bring the children to board. Though they are all doing well and then they are cooperating, but the academic aspect is also low at the moment. That's for my experience. I've seen that they need a lot. And when I came, I also tried to find out why it is this way. I got to realize that they were insufficient infrastructural activities that will support the children to pick up the knowledge they needed.
These children represent the promise of tomorrow, but without desks to sit on, classroom to learn in, or food to sustain them, how can they carry the weight of a nation's future? It is time to act. It is time to make fairness a reality for every child in Ghana. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Sachilbo, Northern Region.
And that's my colleague Emmanuel Jivenu reporting on that. And it's all about quality education, and that's what we've been fighting for. You remember that this has been a conversation over the period. Even today, we had to talk about it on Newsflash. Don't forget that Otunfo Osei to us also spoken about it, how best we can make education quality for children out there. Speaking to that, there is a group and an organization, for that matter, that has been actually doing this for the past 30 years, and they celebrate their 30th anniversary, and it's all about provision of quality education for basic schools in the rural areas. In the studio with me this morning, they're here to actually let us know what exactly the journey has been like and what they intend to do in the coming years, and of course the celebration of the 30th anniversary as well. School for Life, and I've got representations here in the studio. Joining me this morning is Budat Saibu. I hope I got that right. Saibu, right? Okay, that's the director. And I have also over here Ayuba Abubakar. He's the head of programs and partnerships. I hope I got that right as well. Yeah. Good. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. I hope you're good.
Thank you very much for having us.
Great. So I probably will start from the director, since you are the one who's been spearheading all the activities thereof. Now, let's talk about School for Life. What exactly are we looking at when we say School for Life?
So School for Life is all about access to quality education, access to equitable provision of education resources, especially to rural and deprived areas in Ghana. And like you've rightly indicated, we've been in existence for the past 30 years.
That's a lot, 3 decades.
That's a lot of work. Working in the rural areas, deprived, remotest areas, to ensure that quality education is provided. And it is actually anchored on our belief and vision that education needs to be provided to every Ghanaian child, regardless of their location, regardless of their ethnicity, of their gender. So we are always advocating for inclusive, quality provision of education. That is why we have chosen to work in deprived areas, because oftentimes these are areas that are largely deprived when it comes to provision of quality education.
And so far, how's the journey been like? It's been a good one. The feedback has been good.
Yeah, the journey has been a mix of challenges and of course, some satisfying and rewarding experiences. Because if you go to rural communities and watch how children struggle every blessed day just to access basic education, and you are in a position to do something about it, and you really step out to do it, and begin to see, even however modest those achievements are, you will get a bit satisfied. When you see children who will otherwise be left out of school, enjoying school, going through school, and achieving better education at the end of the day, and you look on their faces and see smiles, then you get a bit satisfied. But the journey has been daunting because you go to the communities and you just feel that most of these communities are just largely deprived. It is like they are not part of the country called Ghana, and that is worrying. It is about time that as a country, we really look critically into the critical challenges of basic education, especially rural education. If you compare schools in the rural areas where we work and other parts of the country, then you see that we are not, as a society, doing good service, doing justice to most of our population in the country. And for us, we think that the time is right for us to really step up our efforts in ensuring that every Ghanaian child, irrespective, as I already indicated, of where they are, have access to the basic standards of education in Ghana. Okay. But who knows? Any of these children could be the presidents and the vice presidents and ministers of the country. But if we set them up for failure, how are they ever able to realize their God-given destinies and fulfill the purposes that they have? And that is why, as an organization, we think that our place is to work in the rural areas to ensure that these children who are lagged behind are really exposed to the opportunities there are to support them thrive in education.
Mr. Yuba, you were in charge of programs and partnerships.
Yes.
I'm sure you've had a lot of partnerships, even here at the multimedia.
Yes.
You've been, we've always been there for you and all of that. When you look at the overview of what we've been able to do and where we're headed, do you think that in the near future we'll be able to get a lot of support from different brands who will come on board to ensure that this dream is achieved?
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity. And in fact, we cherish partnerships in our programming. And like you said, that is why we are here. We have been working with Joy Prime and then the other affiliates. The documentary we have watched, we co-created it.
Great.
And for us, that is the way we can contribute in actually bringing the issues to bear so that government can take action. And this have we been doing for the past 30 years. We started by working with Danish, organization, Danida, and then other Danish organizations, by actually mopping up out-of-school children and then putting them into the formal school. And this have we been doing even up to today. But we have realized that as children go to school, the tendency for them to drop out is also high because the environment is not conducive, just as we have seen. What we have seen is very dehumanizing. Children lying on their bare stomachs. And so we think that these partnerships will help. Yes, and we currently are even looking inwardly within the country to see how we can mobilize local philanthropies to support our work.
Great.
You know what is happening now in the development space, where some governments are canceling projects.
It's a law.
Yeah, the US government is canceling projects. They are supporting us. And the government of Ghana is bearing a brand to that, about $150 million US has been cancelled, and the government has to plug that hole. And so we think that partnerships are great, and for us that is the way to go. With these kind of partnerships, we know that the future is good for us, so that we can continue to trumpet to the government, to address these issues. And for me, looking at this video, I felt very sad, because it's about furniture, it's about classrooms. We want to commend the government for, making attempts to address these issues. In the recently read budget, the government has made provisions to provide, textbooks for the children, as we have seen. And to build teachers' accommodation. And but what we have not seen explicitly is about government's promise to actually eradicate schools under trees. It's not explicit. And currently we have about 5,300 of such. And we haven't seen it explicitly in the budget. It means that these children who are on their stomach will continue to be
in the same situation.
In the same situation. The government, in its promise, says they are going to implement a program called Furniture for All. We haven't seen it explicitly stated in the budget. And what it means is that 40% of our children, as we have seen, are lying on their stomach. About 1.2 million Ghanaian children. We haven't seen that explicitly. What it means is that they will continue to be in this dehumanizing state for, a long time. And so that's why we think that partnerships are very important, so that we can address this, together. If government is not able to support, then other partners should be able to support, because the work is so much for the government alone to do. And that's why we like these kinds of collaboration.
Awesome. Now, let's look at some the projects and then what we intend to do with our 30th anniversary. Is there something special we're putting together in terms of programming? Maybe you can elaborate on that a bit.
Yes. So we launched the anniversary in November last year.
Great.
And we have a series of activities we'll be carrying out.
Okay.
And significant among them is our intention of also trying to solve these problems we have seen.
Okay.
We are mobilizing funds to see if we can put together a school structure for a community. The community is called Siru in the Upper West region.
Okay.
They have been trying, but we think that we have to meet them halfway. They have supported their own their school to do their own local school feeding.
Oh, okay.
But the school structure is very dilapidated. We want to support them to put up that structure, and we call on partners who can support us to actually come and support us build this. And we'll be proud that we have contributed to education, and we have also. Plan some other activities. We want to have an event where we bring philanthropists together to raise funds to support our work. And we have also planned to support a library project in one of our districts. We have also planned to actually support School for Life. We have about up to, I think last month or so, we had to lay off some staff because of what is happening. Our number is great. So currently we are still around 70 or more.
That's a lot.
Yes, we want to have our community service so that we go to our communities and then serve. We want to do like teaching. You go to your community and then take a class and teach.
Okay.
Yes, or provide something for your community. And we are doing this to show that, this is what we can do and this is the way to go. And those who can partner us do that, can come on board. Yeah, so these are some of the activities we have the
lineup for the celebration.
For the celebration.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot. But I mean, you've done an incredible jobs already, and so we're hoping that corporate Ghana comes on board and support this. But before we go, Director, let me find out from you, what else do you also want to appeal to Ghanaians in terms of support?
Okay. So before I come into that, I just want to make a point in terms of some of the significant achievements we've had in the past. My colleague did mention that we started by mobilizing children who are out of school, either never been to school or have dropped out due to the systemic failures of the education system. And through this work, since our inception to date, we actually reach out to over 450,000 of such children, many of whom will not have had access to education but for our intervention. And what did we do? We provided an accelerated learning program, a stopgap education program for these out-of-school children, very flexible and targeted, so that they are provided numeracy and literacy skills, and as well as life skills in their mother tongue for a period of 9 months, and then eventually graduate, and then we transition them into formal school and so support them to stay in this school. Many of these children are now university lecturers, teachers, nurses, and what have you, and they have attested to the fact that, but for this particular intervention, they would not have been able to make it to that far. And for us, we think that that is significant. And because of that, we have since mobilized these people into an alumni network to serve as a cadre, a critical mass of mobilizing resources and also advocating for education programs to be extended to communities that are lacking these services. And for us, we think that this is one of the key programs, that is the complementary basic education program. We pioneered that and worked with other civil society organizations talking about partnership since the early 2000s, and to advocate for the government to recognize the program as a critical and effective measure of reaching out to children who are left out of the mainstream education and giving them a second chance to education. And through that, the government eventually adopted it. And through our continuous engagement and advocacy, a whole new agency was created to, as it were, support the delivery of the complementary basic education program, targeting these children who are largely deprived in so many different ways. And for us, linking it back to what government can do and related to the current budget, we noted with deep concern that there wasn't any provision or limited provision, if at all, was made to the complementary basic education program. And what we are doing as a country is actually neglecting so many children who really need government support to get access to education, to the start of basic education. And we are calling on the government to, as it were, look into this matter by ensuring that adequate resources, provision of financial support, budgetary allocation is made to the complementary education program by resourcing effectively or adequately the complementary education agency to do the work that it is mandated to do.
Very well. Thank you very much for joining us this morning and sharing this with that Saibu is the director for the School for Life, and then Ayuba Abubakar is also head of programs and partnerships. We're grateful that you joined us to share this with us. We will wish you well and happy anniversary. Congratulations to you as well. There's still more coming up right on.
Yeah. But yesterday I got home. My mother put me in trouble.
I know,
she used the jollof, and then I ate 4 bowls.
4?
Don't tell everybody.
Why are you still here this morning?
It was too
You should be jailed this morning. Anyway, what's some of the latest?
Well, so as I said already, after I went to eat 4 bowls of jollof and sorbet, jollof yesterday, I advise you to get your spices, okay? Tasty Tom has amazing spices for you. Trust me, they are affordable. When you put them in your dishes, they taste good. The aroma alone, hey, let me tell you, it's really good. So go to your latest market or the one that is closer to you, closest market, and then ask for these spices. You can get the shrimp, you can use the chicken, you can use the jollof, the beef. In fact, go and get it, okay? Well, but let's get into trends, because I've told you, anytime you want to hear gist, this is the best place to hear it, because your loyal gist girl, me, makes sure that you hear it as easy and as fast as you can. So let's get into it, okay? So for my first trend, you know that last year we had our elections. We held our, general elections last year. And whether we like it or not, in certain areas, there were a little bit of violence. So things didn't go the way they were supposed to go in certain places. Now, this polling agent, okay, decided that after the violence had erupted, he was going to make sure that at least the street lights was working, right? So he climbed on the street lights to make sure that it was working so they could count the votes and make sure that everything is okay. But in the quest to do that, he got electrocuted, which came out. We saw videos of that. Well, former Vice President, Baumia, has come out to give the man money, okay, as a means of saying, oh, you did extremely well. You gave us, in fact, you almost lost your life for us. He decided to give him 100,000 Ghana cedis. I mean, it's many. He's a hero because he climbed a ladder just to make sure that he was going to make sure that, the street lights was fixed so they could count their votes accurately. And then just to see that he was electrocuted, almost lost his life, the former vice president says that, oh, we have to make this man know that we appreciate what he did. So he gave him a whopping sum of 100,000 Ghana cedis. Take a look at the video.
Okay, let me hand over to him. I'm saying, Your Excellency, we do overcatch the camera. Mensa Bernard Mensa. Okay. Chief.
Hello, Bernard.
Chief.
Oh, now what to say?
I think I'm doing a back on as well.
Me pictures oh, Maria, an easy crowd.
Chief, you
have gone through a lot. But
Chief, I can. You see me there.
Sorry. Beyond that,
So as I said, when it comes to elections, any slight mistake, people will rig the elections, right? So this man saw that, oh, if we do not fix the lights, people may rig the election and then things will erupt, will become violent again, and then one thing will lead to another. So this man decided that, okay, I will climb and fix the street lights. And then he got electrocuted. As I said, our former vice president, Baumia, saw this and said, okay, this man is really literally a hero and he has to be remunerated. So he decided to bless him with 100,000 Ghana cedis, which is really good and kind. So netizens saw this. Let's take a few few of the comments. This one is from One God. He says, oh, thank you, Dr. Bawumia. God bless you for this. Sammy Dosty is giving him a huge round of applause. The Voice says that, thank you, Mr. Bawumia. Teta says that a good man in bad company at Bawumia. And Calvin says that make the man confirm, say the amounts reaching your account. Mr. Frimpon says, oh, Caleb says, like, you people sure say the money reached the money accounts. Well, I'll let you go and ask him. Mansa Musa says that, so you almost died because of a political party. Charlie, we shouldn't encourage such, I don't think it's bad. He just wanted peaceful election to reign. FA says that that's a powerful gesture of support, recognizing and uplifting those who make sacrifices for the greater good. This Kwaning says that this is laudable, which is actually true. I think that this is laudable. He did an amazing job, seeing that a citizen was doing amazing and decided to give him some money, which I think is a good thing. It really is a good thing. Well, let's move away from that story to next. Have you heard when people say that they're audacious? Like, this story, when I heard it at first, I was like, wait, make it make sense. So let me explain it to you, right? So if you know this popular nightclub, it's a nightclub, it's a bar, it's called Chetwa. It has come out that the bar doesn't belong to the man that says it is his. Apparently, it is someone's house that the man has rented. And then he rented a house in a different state. So for instance, he rented a 5 to 6 bedroom house and decided that, okay, this is my house. On a regular day, if you want to make changes in someone's house, you have to ask the landlord, okay, landlord, I want to change the color of the house from this to that. I want to change the tiles. But no, this man turned a full house into a nightclub without telling the landlord anything. The landlord is a diaspora and she doesn't live in Ghana, only her daughter does. So her daughter decided that, okay, let me go and check on my mother's house. She got there and realized that the house has been turned into a nightclub, and the man didn't even call to say, okay, please, I'm doing this. The worst thing is that the man hasn't been paying rent regularly, and now the lady is afraid, her mother is afraid that, oh, because we are not Ghanaians, it's looking like this man might take our property. Take a look at the video I'm talking about, and then when we come back, we take some comments. Right now, ask yourself, if you were the landlord, how will you feel? Like, how would you feel to see that your house, they didn't do small renovation, no, it's been changed from a whole house to a nice club? Me, I think this is not fair. The guy should be brought to book. He has to pay, he has to renovate the house back to how it was, because this is someone else's property. The fact that he's not even paying rent the way he's supposed to, and you've just sent someone's whole house into a whole nightclub. As I said, it's a very popular nightclub too. So when you get to East, when you hear Chetwa, you know that is the hotel or the nightclub we are talking about. Just to see that this man has done this, I think it's not nice. And social media has seen it as well, because people are in the comments saying, this guy is the audacity for me. Well, social media has seen it, so let's take a few of the comments. Nura says that, okay, but can we talk about how good it looks? At least he didn't do some basa-basa thing. That one is true. As I said, Chetwa is a nice place, so it really is. The Otre says that it's crazy, but I think the landlord should have renegotiated with him or her for new payments. It's a win-win. Well, anyways, Nana says that I need this kind of audacity. Ekel Tom says that you might as well just sell it or become a partner, because that's a lot of work. That's true. The Small Blessing says that, to be honest, the only thing that would vex me is the unpaid rents, because the renovations look really good, you know? Ikia says that audacity is his name. Dennis says that congratulations, you know, you now own a bar and a lounge. Shahid says that the fact that Sheswa means at your home is killing me. Firma says that the audacity to name it Sheswa, meaning in your house, right? Khadija says that where did he purchase his audacity from? And then Jira says that you now have a business to maintain. Did she ask them? Did she ask them out for a business? Mr. Moore, all right, that's about it. So as to now, we are still waiting for to hear if the police have caught up with him, the new negotiations, if the landlady will take the house back or accept that it's a business and they become partners. But hey, if you own a house and you're renting it out to someone, let them know that, okay, if you have to make changes, let me know first so that I don't have to come and catch you later and it becomes a whole different problem, okay? But yes, now let's move away from that and go to Pramso. Now, there was hailstorm, right, in Pramso, which really excited the people. Now, it was raining block, ice block, and then the people at Pramso were very excited about it. In fact, you should have seen how they were running into the rain trying to catch the ice blocks. If I were there, I'll be scared though, because, hey, is the world coming to an end? But no, they were really excited about it. Take a look at the video. A few months ago, this happened in Togo, right? And then they were also picking it up, very excited about it. Now, it happened in Ivory Coast, and now in Ghana, people are really excited about it. I'm like, hey, aren't you both scared? Because honestly, if it was me, I'll be hiding because I don't know what's causing it. But wait, hey, they are really excited. Probably it may snow in Ghana, and I'll be excited for that one too. Hey, so social media has seen this, and netizens are talking. Bloody says that must be nice, but what them they collect for? Gary Sokins, no, they're going to keep it in their fridge so that they'll say, okay, into your ice block. Convict says that no one should tell them it snows in Abutril. They already know that. Come on. Claire Dre says that do they know hail melts? Because why are they picking it up like some souvenir? That small boy just put one in his mouth. Ho says that my people need to stop this behavior. Alpha says that God, please don't let this enter our crowd. Windscreen price the cost. Why Ghana says that hailstorm and you are thanking God. Asemo. Kojo says that the day snow go fall. Kojo says that at least every Ghanaian must experience some of this. I've experienced this twice and I loved it. Koforidia and Hohoi. There's more. All right, I think that is about it. Shepperton says that Mama gets pizza bidas. Can you see the woman? She's literally putting it in her mouth. Like, as I said, they were really excited to see it. I mean, once again, if I were there, I may have been scared. You never know. Probably I may also have tasted to see if it tastes like, ice block, but hey, don't count for me. Well, I leave you with the video of the day. Have you ever sat in a trotro and been told by the driver what to do and what not to do? Well, this driver, in his quest to keep his car neat, decided to give rules and regulations. You cannot do certain things. Well, we'll take that video. My name is Lois Lademi. We still have so much more for you right here on Prime Morning, so do not tune off, okay? Let's take our video of the day.
Time for more can we go to make more pampers. If you polythene bag, no, the Abafro can with Jess, no, patrol the Biabasa. The patrolman to think as you can and quite over, not finding your canum. Back seats at the Ebu, will be told to me be a woman and will be at the another. The patrolman fans and can be our toward the best speaker on one wife, what the answer to canum, fans and can be and say, no, my patrol, and did you quaffle. Mr. Ogo for condition cars, I don't know of it. The patrol to say or politics or Hajibi. 1 year money be and free Mukanum, the Patofigu Kanum, a 50 cities, more mutation, you know, Ofigu Nonkoso, a 1.5, you 50 near the Ahorocano. Now 1 million, they are talking to Yama, the Ofigunus, 1 a man of politics, yet I was Ubiasa on Fene, and you want your politics, Nibi. Monsieur Bona, you know, now Fedia. Bet you 1.5. First a car. Slow. Ubian, you be more Mataka, Moya 17. More Mataka, Moya 17. Ubiazo on fit. Baku Befia. Ubetia, Mammy, Ubican, bro, for talking by you, talking by me. Listen to Mr. Nobody. You call more as a Moyano. Me pacho nya butrema me manunsi wona oniase mbia me na me gina na ho kasa enti mama manunsi ne bisa masem why me pacho aha obi anya dia na chese na obi aso onfene pacho bisa wasem.
Hi there. Thanks for staying with us here on Prime Morning, and I'm sure you enjoyed what's trending this morning. Of course, the video of the day, crazy things happening, man. But I think that I side with him. Sometimes we need to let people know what they are involved in before they even get along. All right, so it's very necessary. But we're going to get into our next conversation this morning, and it's all about a movie that we want you to watch, and it's called The Last Stop. And in the studio with me is one of the cast who's here to tell us all about what you need to know about Last Stop, which is coming up very soon. Foster. Foster Romanus is here.
I like it when you're like this.
Why?
It's good for the culture. You should always be sick.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, yeah. You see how calm you are.
That's on Thursday.
You look very serious.
You don't pray for people's misfortunes.
Who told you? Do you think this is a misfortune?
I'm not well.
Are you a Christian?
Yep.
In all things.
I'm not giving anything to anyone.
You should be grateful you are not well.
Nah.
You can't always be well. You understand? If you are always well, that's bad.
Yeah.
It means you are not human.
Oh, okay.
But if you are human, there are times that you must not be well. Oh. So, like, as we speak now, you are not well. Oh. Humanly speaking, you are not well. Spiritually speaking, you are not well.
Yo,
what's up?
Get out of here. Charlie.
Are you willing to do everything possible to keep this relationship? Nah. This is my last stop here. My last stop here.
You're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere and doing this no more. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's too early, man. Yo,
sure?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
But what's up?
Charlie.
You mean
Hey.
But I've seen the cast. I mean, that's a very
it's a star-studded cast, and a very dope one. I think I'm the one who is not a star in the and.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah. I'm the least star.
No, everybody is absolutely everybody.
I'm the least star.
Okay, who are in there?
Like, you have Lydia Forsen, Ajete Anand.
Top.
You have Sheena.
Top.
Clemento Suarez. Top. You have Andrew Adote. Is it Lebanese? Yes. You have Mark Pratt. Top. You have Monica Wimbono. You have
yourself.
I'm on the last one I'm saying. No, I didn't. Me and my last one was stars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the. Yeah, we have Elliot. Yeah.
No, but that's like some huge squad.
It's a top squad, and that is one of the reasons why people should anticipate for the movie, you know, because it's not your regular.
Yeah.
When I will shout me to you cinema, I say, and you're regular. yeah, it's not your regular movie, from storyline to pictures to, you know, to the casting, and, you know, it's dope. And I think everyone should expect it.
But what I don't want you to give it all out, but what exactly is the narrative when it comes?
It's just about
stop narrative.
It's all about a missing phone.
Oh.
One small phone.
Everybody's looking for.
That's whether a yam phone, cassava phone, or it's a phone. Now that phone is what takes the story.
Whoa.
Yes,
just that phone.
Just the phone.
What was the phone?
That phone got missing.
That's phone or what?
That's the thing. That's what you should find out. Why is everyone after the phone? There is a queen pin, or the queen of the city looking for the phone. There is a trotro driver looking for that same phone. And now it's also looking for it. So what is in the phone? Again, my phone back up here. Phone. No beer any phone or no beer person or who phone the first agent in Yonkon. And a phone chin for be breso. I bet you see a friend Musa. Now we have to look for all the Musas. So, you know, it comes with all the twists and turns and all the suspense in there. It comes with all the, you know, all the elements in there, the conflicts, you resolve them here and there. It's Charlie, we're a movie lover, dear. It is.
And what's your role?
I am one of the Musa. I'm a Chinese.
So you had the phone, or you had the opportunity of seeing the phone?
I don't know. If I tell you that I had the phone, I've given you the story.
No, but you could pass it on somebody because you didn't know what exactly the phone was.
If I tell you, say, I didn't get the phone
that everybody's looking
to have given her the story. But if I tell you, say, I love you.
No, don't love me. Too early.
So, yeah, the phone travels until finally they get the phone. Now, the whole, you know, twist and turn into how because now it has become like, you know, there are threats here and there. There are, you know, all the, whatever, for you to get the phone. Get the phone and bring it, or you die, or you lose this, or you lose that. This person is also on the other side also. Now they be also use the phone, you know. So it's a whole, it's a total experience.
It's a conundrum.
So what?
A conundrum.
Yeah. So it's yeah. It's a condom.
I didn't say.
You didn't say that. Me too. I didn't say that. Yeah. So yeah. It's a condom.
So are we premiering, or we're doing what?
We are premiering on the 28th of March.
Oh, just around the corner.
Just around the corner at a cinema near you. But it's going to run concurrently in a conundrum.
I thought you were a waste. Like,
I'm a recycled waste.
No, I'm impressed.
Yeah,
like,
so
currently
the conundrum,
it hardly come to mind.
Yeah,
if you're not intelligent.
That's true.
Such, you know,
that's true. That's true. We give thanks to God. Yeah.
It means what?
It's running simultaneously. Hey, your TV so can you bring my flyer? Please bring my flyer.
It's on your back. You can see it.
Well, what I want to say is that. So that
I'm amused by, you know, your level of
intelligence. Is what I want to say.
You know,
it starts with
you're
O.
able to string words together.
It starts with O and ends with I.
It starts with what?
O and ends with I. It's a girl word.
Omnisecond.
Omnisecond. I hear. Omnisecond and grinding. And grinding very bit. I'm sorry. So, yeah, so on the 28th, it's at the Accra Silverbird Cinema.
West Hills.
West Hills as
we
well.
do in Kumasi.
You do in Kumasi, Golden City Mall in Kumasi. So if you want the tickets, you can go to all these centers to purchase a ticket and then, you know, be a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got an outlet that is selling the tickets, or you?
Yeah, just all the cinemas.
Okay. Once you go
to the cinema.
And when you come on the date, you get
some at the venue. But Ghana for there. Ghana. Oh, be behind last minute. Ghana for last minute.
Ghanaians, it's not just here. I think when it comes to entertainment, it's all around.
No.
Not even the US, in the UK, in Europe. It's
all the shows I've done in the
UK. Unless you buy it ahead of time.
Yeah.
But there are still people who come to the gate. I have seen Ghana Music Awards UK ask people to go back.
What did he say?
Ghana Music Awards UK.
Who are the people there?
The ticket outlet is managed by the white people. The ticket outlet is managed by white people.
Yeah, but who's supposed to buy the ticket?
Ghanaians.
It's not the Ghana people. It's the Ghana people who are going to buy it.
Yeah, but are they in a foreign land? So it doesn't make them completely Ghanaians.
Where all the times you have gone and come, did it change you?
It has. It has. There are things I do them differently now.
Like what?
Like I don't shower late. Like,
do you even shower? Ghana, I don't understand you people. Like someone will say, let me just take a quick shower.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they be back here till they go fetch water. What are you showering yourself with?
A bucket. No, but those who say that are usually people who use a shower.
No.
I'm not sure somebody would say.
It's never true.
They want to use.
It's never true. Yeah. Me, I don't use shower. But I use shower gels. If I say I'm going to shower, a shower gel, I'm going. Yeah, but it depends on where you live as well. You can't live, and say you're going to take a shower.
Live where?
In a compound house. Let's say you are going to take a shower. No, it doesn't work like that at all.
Okay, folks, this is a Kobina Jansa film that is shown on the 28th, and Foster Romanus is in there. He plays Musa. And so make sure that you come and watch, all right? It's on the 28th of this month, and you grab your tickets. That's all you got to do. Just
if you're talking
how's the ticket selling, by the way?
Oh, it's going well.
How much are we buying it for?
Let's give it to God.
So many.
Can we see the trailer? You're trying to wrap it up too quickly. Let's see the trailer when we come. You are talking. They should see the trailer. Yeah, when we mention the amount.
They're playing the trailer.
So let them see the trailer.
They're playing the trailer.
I'm not going to be fucked up by electricity. Oh, Master, I'm in this is too big. Oh, she will grow into it.
Listen, one of my boys left a very important phone in one of your buses, and I want it back.
One kind of friend answer. Musa, yeah. Hello, please, is this Musa? We're looking for Musa. Anyone here who a shock over like you get any toy woman. Okra, dog, here, flat. Oh, no.
My name will back. Me. And then me a boss. They interest to here, Mr. And then me na me die. Me new be a Mr.
All right, so that's last stop for you. Yeah. It's premiering on 28th, and the ticket is selling at
100. You see, I wanted you to finish with the trailer so that you can see that the cost of the ticket is very, like
moderate.
Yeah. It's
the average
moderato. It's just, for the quality you are seeing like there. Moderato. It's moderato. I am a musician. In music, there's moderato. This means you are singing moderate.
You can use that to describe currency.
So yeah, it's 150 Ghana.
Okay.
And it's very affordable for everyone. I just want to put out the number out if you want to get a ticket. It's 0544 310 140. 0544 310 140. So you can catch it at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Two viewings on the day, that's 28, for just 150 Ghana. So if you want it, it's at 0544 310 140 to book your ticket. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's the movie you need to check out. It's an incredible piece.
Very incredible. I'm just coming from Spain.
Last stop. Okay. So this is our last stop.
Oh, just now.
Thanks for being on the show.
So soon. I'm a bar. And your crowd.
Right. So
okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, how do you go? We need coffee there. No, say just. Yes, me that we
just so you know, that's somebody's father right there. Like this one also got a wife.
Now where is
just so you know.
Oh no. Emma pe kwasi abo. Tell na onye bi no. O se ho nyansa, onye bi nta. Utri say.
It's been nice hanging out with you.
Who advised you? We are done, right?
We're done.
Yeah, we are wrapping up. It's our last stop, right? In the sense of fashion, like who advised you? Say, why?
Say,
like this.
Which?
This last stop look.
We have some more coming up right after this.
Sonny Badu on lookalike.
Thanks for staying with us here on the show. It's time for us to get into our next conversation. Good living this morning. We're still celebrating the Ghana month. And the past 2 weeks, we've had conversations on plant medicine. And I'm sure you did enjoy the various conversations we've brought you so far. We're getting into our plants. So we're looking at how we can use them to heal ourselves as people. And if you followed, you'd understand that indeed there's a lot that we can get from plants. And if we're using it and using it well, we're definitely going to get the very best of benefit when it comes to the plants that we find around us. Now, this morning, we've got a very big conversation coming up, and we're looking at 50 years of plant medicine. We'll be talking to two of our doctors who are going to be helping us understand what it is like to actually get into plant medicine and also speak about the 50th anniversary that is upcoming. We'll look at that also. But we've got a documentary put together, and we want you to take a look at it so you can understand where we're headed with this conversation. When we come back, I'll introduce my doctors in the studio with me here on the show, and then we can get into that conversation. But you can send your messages to us. Let us know what you think about plant medicine, and if you've got any questions you want to be asking the doctors, you can also do so here on the show. In the meantime, take a look at this.
For 50 years, the Institute of Plant Medicine has been at the forefront of harnessing the healing power of plants, transforming indigenous knowledge into groundbreaking scientific solutions. Today, we explore the journey, achievements, and impact of this remarkable institution. In a world where traditional medicine meets science, this institution has played a vital role in developing plant-based treatments for various ailments. But how did it all begin? Let's take a look. The vision of the Institute is to research, validate, and commercialize medicinal plants for healthcare solutions. The Institute was a response to the growing need for scientifically backed herbal medicine in Ghana and beyond.
And I have here Dr. Kofi Donko. I want you to tell me about... please, just fill me in first.
Okay, so we are in the phytochemistry lab. The phytochemistry lab is a lab that we carry out our extraction. When I say extraction, I mean trying to get out the active ingredients that are in medicinal plants that elicit the medicinal properties. So when you take a drug, you have some active ingredient in the plant that is able to give you the medicinal response that you get when you take the drug. So this lab is responsible for that. It's responsible for trying to extract the active ingredient, and then after extracting them, we are able to study and know what activity these ingredients or compounds have, the effect they have, the negative and positive effect that they have. So basically, it is a chemistry. It's a chemistry.
Once the plant material is applied to us here at the phytochemistry department, our interest is to extract the medicinal principles or constituents in the plant material. Now, the solvent we use for the extraction is ethanol. This is an example of an extraction that is going on here. For this particular plant material, is called Pacatina. It is, the leaves is used for treating asthma. Now we are looking at the possibility of trying to use a stem, which is normally ignored. So we are embarking on this extraction to get the medicinal constituents in the stem of Pacatina. Now this is the extraction that is going on. You soak the plant material in ethanol, leave it on for 3 or 4 days. The term we use is cold maceration. Now, after 3 or 4 days and the extraction is completed, what we do next is to use a machine called the rotary evaporator, and that is the machine at the other side. Let me take you there. The purpose of the rotary evaporator is to remove all the ethanol that we use for the extraction. In fact, we are not interested in the ethanol. We are interested in the medicine that is left behind, or that's the ethanol extracted. So this machine will extract all the ethanol from the extract. The ethanol will be gathered here, and the extract will be concentrated here. And this is how it will look like. Now, when we get a concentrated extract like this, the chemist wants to know the chemical composition of this. And so there are a number of tests that we do to ensure the chemical composition of this particular extract. Now, having done so, another work we do is we want to find out how effective is this extract. So if assuming the work we want to do is for diabetes, our extract is now given to a different department. Okay, in that department, they have an animal experimentation unit, and they induce diabetes in the animal, and then later give our extract to the animals to see if the blood sugar level will come down.
Most of the time, and you hear a lot of people say, especially scientists, we keep on saying science is expensive. Yes. Science is expensive. And it's expensive because the equipment that you use are expensive, the reagents and the chemicals that you use are very expensive. So most of the time, these equipment and reagents come from funding agencies, donor agencies. So what scientists will do most of the time, spend sleepless nights writing proposals to funding agencies to be able to give you some money to purchase equipment and reagents to be able to do your work. is our pharmaceutics department, and this is the pharmaceutics lab. But this place also doubles as the unit where we do our capsules and our tablets. So as you see presently, we have staff who are working on some granules. These granules basically, I believe, are capsules, the granules that we use for capsules. And it's one of our products, Euro 500. Euro 500 is a product that is used for treating or managing prostate enlargement. And this is where we do it. So we do capsules and tablets in here. So this is our research laboratory. So all the plants you have in here are medicinal plants.
You don't mean it?
Yes, they are all medicinal plants. Every plant you see here has a medicinal property.
No, wait. From this place?
Yes.
Everything?
Everything. And we are actually deliberate about it. We are deliberate about putting plants that have medicinal properties in this garden. And actually what we do in this garden is also to study these plants. You study them over time, and what we are doing is to see what soil type support these plants the best, what environmental conditions that these plants grow well under, and all that. So you do all that study here.
I'm in charge of the Land Development Department, that is the PDD, and we do a lot of things here. We have a medicinal farms. It's scattered across some regions in Ghana. We have one at Aikuma, we have one at Adoso, we have one at Begro, and we have one here. Then aside the medicinal farm that we also have what we call arboretum. So as you can see here, this arboretum, we have medicinal plants growing in the wild. So if you don't go and disturb them, they are growing already in the wild. You sometimes take time for research and other things. So that's the arboretum for you. They also have a farm where we cultivate, harvest, and use. Okay. Now, what you see here is a medicinal plant garden. Now, the idea is that we want to grow as many as possible with different medicinal plants so that people can come around and have a live loop of the medicinal plants. So here we have almost 200, even more than 200 medicinal plants that we are growing. Yeah, and this garden is being supported by Barbados. Okay. Export Barbados, they supported the center to do this garden, and with time, we'll also be going there to replicate the same thing that we have here. So this side, we have some of the medicinal plants. I would like to introduce you to a few of them. So this particular one, you will see it around. People may not even know the use of this plant. We call it Pacatina nigrescens. Pacatina nigrescens. But currently it's called Cryptolepis because the name has been changed. This one is very powerful for fighting asthma. So at the center here, we have a product called Tina A. It's a powder. So those who have asthma, when they use it for tea, it helps to reduce the occurrence of asthma. And if you look at this side, there are different medicinal plant species that you can find. Noni is here, plantain, banana, they are all useful. We have papaya, we have guava over there, cashew over there. And if you look at this side, that is our nursery. So inside the nursery, we have some yellow containers that we nurse our seeds in. So currently the plant or the medicinal plant we have there being nursed is what we call Cryptolepis sanguinolenta. So locally it's called Nibima. And that is what we use for malaria medicine here and immune booster. So we have a product called Nibima, it's from this plant. And we also have Ampofort, it's from this plant. Now during the COVID, this is the medicine we use to fight the COVID. So people had COVID, we give it to them after 2 weeks, they are healed. It has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial property. So if you go into the nursery, there are different medicinal plants there.
The real impact of the Institute of Plant Medicine is seen in the lives it has changed. Many who once relied solely on conventional medicine have found relief through herbal treatments developed right here.
now but now he's working. On my 2 weeks in the bar. But you see how now I'm from into a review being. Very recommended others are person we have medicines waiting about medicine.
As the world moves towards more sustainable and holistic healthcare solutions, the Institute of Plant Medicine remains committed to pushing the boundaries of research and innovation.
The center was established in 1975, and so this year we are celebrating our 50th anniversary, which we want to celebrate in grand style because the center have made a lot of achievements. If you look at the Center for Plant Medicine Research, it is one unique institution in the country. We are involved in the entire spectrum of herbal medicine production. And that is, we have herbal medicine farms where we plant some of the plants that we use in production. We have a department for that, looking at identification, the taxonomy. We also have other research departments like pharmacology, where we look at the effectiveness of the medications. We have done a lot of research over the years, and this research have led to the production of medications that are very effective. Moving forward, our plan is that we will improve upon these products that we have done. So, for example, producing more solid dosage forms that are very easy to carry and export. We also want to expand the production of these medications. And also, we want to ensure that our clinic is well equipped and ensure greater integration of traditional medicine into the conventional system of medical care in the country.
For 50 years, the Institute of Plant Medicine has been a beacon of hope, blending tradition with science to improve lives. As they look ahead to the next 50 years, the future of plant-based medicine has never been brighter. For 50 years, the Institute of Plant Medicine has been at the forefront of harnessing the healing power of plants, transforming indigenous knowledge into groundbreaking scientific solutions. Today, we explore the journey, achievements, and impact of this remarkable institution. In a world where traditional medicine meets science, this institution has played a vital role in developing plant-based treatments for various ailments.
Beautiful things here in GH, and trust me, that's a lot. After 50 years, it's still stronger and it's still doing very well. In the studio with me this morning are representations from the Center for Plant Medicine Research, and they are here to let us know what it has been like in the last 50 years and what the future looks like as far as your 50th anniversary is concerned. Dr. Kwasi Aidoo is here with me. He's the head of Research and Innovation Center for Plant Medicine Research. Doc, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And congrats. 50 years, that's a lot.
Thank you.
Awesome. Also with me is Dr. Kwasi Aidoo, is HOD for Clinical Research Department at the Center for Plant Medicine Research. Doc, a very good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you, and how are you too?
I'm very fine. Trying to nurse my cold and everything. Doc said that if he knew, he would have brought me medication. Unfortunately, he didn't. But I'll come there. I'll come for it.
You're welcome.
I need it. Anyway, congratulations to you once again. I mean, looking at the documentary, I was surprised because I didn't know there's a hospital or a clinic. I don't know which clinic best qualifies it, but clinic. It's a clinic, right? I didn't know there's a clinic in the center. this is my first time getting to know. I was a bit amused, like, okay, that makes sense. How come we have never been able to really get, to know much about the center, first of all, or we do?
We do, and maybe we don't. And we do, and probably we don't because of the nature of the center. Okay. So basically, it's a research institution. Yeah. And so you focus on your research and all that. And research activities are not something that normally you want, it's in the general public and you're talking about and all that. The other thing also is the fact that aside the research is also a clinical service that we provide. And that is the other thing. If you are really doing the right thing, you are not going to be out there shouting about your clinic and all that. So the very nature of the center is our activity are not things that normally you should be in the public.
Constantly be put in the public domain.
Yeah, so that is the reason why perhaps it's not so well known out there. But for those who have health needs and need solution, for such people, they are very well aware and all that. Yeah.
Okay, great stuff. Now, Doc, let's look at the evolution of the place the last 50 years. Yeah. How has things been like?
All right, so like my director indicated in the documentary, the center was established in 1975 through the effort of the ever-famous Dr. Okuampofo. He was a medical, Western-trained doctor like myself, but he had a great love for arts and culture. Okay. So because of his passion for traditional medicine, I think through the then government, the institute was established initially to provide clinical services. So patients troop in, he sees them like the Western style clacking that we take patients through, but then he will give them medications. Initially, we were producing the medicines in gallons, in large volumes. But over the years, what we've gradually done with science and technology, we're trying to reduce the amount of volume of drugs our patients take. So it's not just the clinical services, but we also research about the plants that we're using, come to the dosage forms we have, and we are trying as much as possible to reduce the amount of water or liquid that we use for them. So in the documentary, you saw them mentioning that we are now going more into solid dosage forms. So it's not you come in here carrying bags of bottles of medications, but now it will be you can have your medications in your pocket and walk out without anybody knowing. We are adding a lot of innovations to our work, where instead of just going out to announce in communities about our work, you can just, from the click of your phone or this new WhatsApp and stuff, you can consult your patients. Oh, okay. So we're doing those things. We were doing a lot of paperwork in the clinic, but now we are more or less paperless. All our consultations are done on electronic medical records. So gradually we are getting there.
Let's talk about plants. I also realized that you have your own plants, you've grown over there and you're using them and all of that. Have we been able to really understand the kind of significance it comes with what you people will do in terms of the patronage from the other side? Or we're still dwelling on the fact that plants have never really been the solution for us when it comes to medication?
No, I think our research has brought a lot of difference in the way people look at plants, the way people look at herbal medicine and all that. And it's because there's a lot of science in there, right from cultivation to extraction, and then after you extract, you want to know what the active ingredients in there are and what these active ingredients do. And once we do this, we've done this over the years and we've put out a lot of publications about these. And now people are very much aware of medicinal plants and really in the world of science, in the lab, what really these plants can do. And for the fact that we can tell people and we can prove to people from research that these plants are useful, a lot more people are accepting its usage and all that. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about we saw some of the labs and what the doctors are saying in terms of what these types of research are actually being able to use in solving situations. Walk us through the lab types that we have. What goes into it?
Good. So right from the beginning at the center, our research starts from plant development.
Okay.
Where we are looking at plants, how to grow them, how to conserve them, and all that. But also more importantly, to be able to identify plants correctly. Okay, because plants can be very similar. And for drug development, being able to identify the exact plant that you want to use is very important. And this department does that for us. So they are very top on our conservation and our study of plants.
It means they know every plant by name? Or every plant is indicated just so they don't mess them up?
Exactly.
Okay. That means you need to be able to put all that in memory. Or are they labeled in a way so maybe an ordinary person walks in and knows that this is the plant, this is that plant?
So for ordinary people like you and I, they are labeled.
Okay.
But for them, these are experts.
They know them by
yes, these are experts. So so they do. So because they know them, they are able to identify the plant correctly. And so for them, this is something just off their head. They don't and it is their study. That is what they study.
Okay.
So they are fine with it. But from plant development or botany, the next level you move into, and we saw in the video, is getting the active ingredients in these plants into solution that we can study. So we have a phytochemistry department that is into isolation and characterization of active compounds from medicinal plants. Okay. Now, once they are able to isolate and characterize and able to say, oh, this is compound A, compound B, we move to the next set of department, that is pharmacology, toxicology, and microbiology. Now, these two departments for pharmacology, our interest is in finding out the efficacy and safety of these extracts.
Okay.
So the pharmacology department has the animal experimentation unit where we saw in the video the laboratory animals. So these laboratory animals help us to be able to determine what the efficacy of these extracts are and how safe are they. The microbiology does the same thing, but they have more focus on looking at effects of these on fungi, on bacteria, and on virus. I mean, microbes that cause disease in humans. So these two departments jointly work on efficacy and safety.
Okay.
And once
to catch you, it means that the laboratory animals that we have there react just like the same way human beings react to the medication you give.
Yes, to some extent. To some extent. So we are able to extrapolate. So, okay, you give this product to animals, this is how they are behaving. We will be able to hazard a good guess that if you take it to humans, this is probably it will end.
So it's not 100%?
No, not at all. No, it's not. Because these are different organisms, and we react differently.
Okay.
So it will not be exactly the same. But it gives you a fair idea how it will react in humans, or how it do in humans. Then, once we are able to establish that, look, this extract from this plant has this activity and it is safe at the preclinical level, then we go to the next department, which is pharmaceutics. They are into formulation, so turning that extract into a drug, into a product that people can take. Now, but it's not just formulation. When they formulate, they also carry out a number of pharmaceutical studies to make sure that the product is actually a standardized product for human consumption. And once we formulate a product, we go through the pharmaceutical studies and the product meets all the pharmaceutical standards. Then we move into registration for herbal medicine. For what we do at the center, we move into product registration. So you submit to the FDA with all your analysis, and then the FDA can register the product for us. And once we have the registration, then we move to production where we produce in commercial basis and able to serve our clinic and serve the general public. So these are the various things we
go through to come out with the medicine. Dr. Tia, let's look at the services you provide in your clinic as well. I know most of the things, the products that you make, also goes into that place. Yeah. What are some of the services in terms of clinical services that you give?
All right. Thank you very much. We provide general medical consultation. When you have a condition, you walk in like you do in any other clinic or hospital, where we have professionally trained medical herbalists from KNUST or medical doctors. So they have also training in our products. So we understand the pharmacodynamics and the pharmacokinetics of the drugs to weight the effect of the drugs on the human body and the effect of the human body on the drugs.
Okay.
So that when we are giving it at the right dosage, at the right timing, at the right quantities, so that your patient does not come out with toxic or side effects. I want to make this statement clear. Herbal medicines are drugs. So because of that, it doesn't mean that generally they are safe. Okay. It means that we must add science to it. Mm-hmm. So when we are giving these medications out, we monitor them. So aside the general clinical consultation we give them, we also have our clinical studies. Because these drugs have been given for the past 50 years. We need to come out with evidence.
Yeah.
We also have our lab services available, where when you walk in, we will do tests, hematological tests, full blood count and the rest. We do our serology tests. We do our biochemical tests like the liver function test, kidney function tests, cholesterol tests and the rest. We also have our microbiology unit. We also have our diagnostic center. So that scan center, where we have our scan on standby in case we need to scan you and do our imaging test, we have it ready. So it's just like any other setup in the Ghana health service system. But the only thing that differs is that the end product of your visit to our clinic, you take home herbal medicines that have been duly prescribed by a qualified prescriber. Let me also make this note here that herbal medicines doesn't cure all. Mm-hmm. Where we see that your condition may need a specialist attention, we are quick to refer. As a medical doctor, I belong to both worlds.
Yeah.
So where I see your situation needs maybe surgical intervention, I don't delay in handling you with herbal medicines. We refer to the eye specialist, we refer to the cancer therapists or the oncology units. We refer to wherever we feel that the herbal medicines may be part of the whole for taking care of you, so that we don't unduly delay our patients for prompt help when they need it.
Okay. Yeah. Now let's talk about some of the tests and the laboratory services that you provide and some of the sickness. Maybe you can mention some of them so that people can get to know that, okay, when you make your way there, these are some of the things that we'll be looking out for.
All right. So we generally, I would say we handle all forms of cases now because the center has evolved so much. Initially, when I joined in 2007, top of our list, you have malaria, typhoid, and all these infectious conditions. Now, when you look at our trend analysis, which we even went through yesterday, you've seen that there has been a big sway towards the non-communicable diseases. So you can walk in for your malaria treatment, for your typhoid medications, for your urinary tract infections and the like. But now we are getting a huge chunk of patients coming with hypertension, diabetes, some even with cancers. Wow. So it means that we have to be on top of our game to be able to handle such patients. Because this whole range, there are patients who've gone round. They've been to your unit, we referred them to the specialists for maybe kidney test and the rest. They've done whatever they want to do. And some still come back. Asking you to find solutions for them. So sometimes it's a bit difficult because you have to balance your treatment very well. So if anybody has any condition and want to come see us, we are open to handling what we can and then referring or communicating with the other side to when you need help with any other treatment that will prolong your life or improve your quality of life. Because when you look at the WHO protocols, it says that you should not do no harm. So when you are handling a patient, what we want to do is to help them improve on their before and after coming to see you.
And I'm excited about the fact that when the need arises for us to make a referral, we will, diligently and happily do so because of the kind of perception that we've had about herbal medicine and how people want to, at all costs, gather all herbal medicine, herbal plants together to ensure that they heal, even when they know that it has to be taken to a different level. As the perception that is out there. So I'm excited that we're taking a critical look at it.
Let me tell you this. I just referred a 27-year-old lady to Kolebu because she had gone round those other centers with a breast lump. Immediately I saw that different size, referred her to do a biopsy test, and she has an invasive carcinoma, cancer grade 4. We are running out of time. You cannot delay in handling such a patient with herbal medicine. No. Maybe herbal medicines will work, but the stage at which she is in now, she's young, she's not giving birth, you need to quickly send your patient for the care that she needs now before it spreads to other parts of the body. So I think that's one thing about us. We don't delay you. And we are quick to give you the service that you need.
Great. Speaking of research, it comes with a lot of cost. I know over the period you would have to invest a lot in terms of machines that you would even need and all that. You mentioned in the video that there are some grants that actually come in. Can we talk about some of them and how people can, or other bodies can also help in giving us some help?
So maybe I'll be quick and brief about this. So in the past few years, maybe 3 major grants that have made a lot of impact in our institute. The Ghana Skills Development Fund, a year and a half ago, gave us close to 400 million Ghana cedis. This was to help us to convert our liquid dosage forms into solid dosage forms. Now, Dr. Atia and his colleagues in the clinic will tell you that the challenge with patient compliance when you are giving them liquid preparations. Drugs are generally bitter, and for herbal medicine, even much more. So if you are giving a patient a liquid product, because it's bitter, sometimes the complying becomes a problem. The other issue is also even measurement. So you tell somebody 2 tablespoons full. the table good.
I think something happened to me yesterday. I'm supposed to take the medication for my situation, and they tell me, oh, you have to take 2. I'm like, but 1 is enough. I started fighting it and all.
So liquid dosage forms presents a challenge with patient compliance. But these challenges are much reduced in solid dosage forms like tablets and capsules and granules and teas. So the Ghana Skills Development Fund gave us money to do that, to help us to convert most of our liquid dosage forms into solid dosage form. And of course, in that process of converting, you also need to do the pharmaceutical analysis. So also, the money was also to buy pharmaceutical equipment to be able to do the pharmaceutical analysis after the formulation. Then we also got a grant from Ghana GIZ. So we do in our facility, we do vaccine potency testing. And whilst at it, when we started doing it, we came up with a number of challenges. And GIZ, we wrote a proposal to them. They agreed to fund us to the tune of 170,000 euros to buy equipment to be able to improve on our testing for vaccines and other biological products at the center. And then the last one I will talk about also to the tail end of last year, we got a grant to the tune of $400,000 from Seeding Labs in the US. And these grants were to also buy a number of research equipment. These equipments are in, we are starting the process of installing them. So these grants have been very useful, and over the years we've we've won grants like that, and really these are the things that have helped to build the various labs at the center.
Where they are right now. Yeah. In that case, is it safe to say that they've helped in production-wise, or we still need more assistance in terms of making sure that our production moves to where we want it to move to?
It has helped production greatly, especially the GSDF fund. But we need more assistance, and perhaps the assistance we need now is more about expanding the production facility.
Okay.
And once we expand the production facility, then you will need more equipment in. And this time, the more equipment you are needing is about increasing volume of production. And I think that is something that it's important, and we are focusing and we are working hard to do. If we are able to do that, we will be able to produce a lot more drugs to be able to export. That will bring us some revenue. As we speak now, we export our product to Ivory Coast and the Caribbean. And this is not a few business people just buying something on the quiet and going. These are registered distributors who have come to us. We've had conversation, and they have agreed to register our products in Ivory Coast, register the product in the Caribbean, and they're getting them in large quantities. Yes. So if we expand, then we are able to produce in large quantity, and we are able to even export, and that will help our economy greatly. So in terms of our production facility and assistance, that is the kind of area we are looking at now. Actually expanding the facility and getting in more equipment that can produce in large scale, not only for domestic consumption, but also for export.
Okay. Now let's talk about the 50th anniversary. There's conference that is coming up and all of that, Dr. Chia. You just delve into that swiftly. Yeah. But before you actually get into it, do you think that with all the machines we've bought and everything that we've been able to achieve is giving us the kind of confidence that the people have in us in terms of our services?
Well, I would say that yes, and more. We need more, because as of now, the trend of our clientele is changing.
Okay.
We have a range of about 35 products to 38 we are developing, we are using. Initially, we had only people within that enclave visiting us. Now, when you look at our statistics, we are getting people from Accra, Kumasi, other parts of the country. We've not even reached the northern part yet more, but on a weekly basis, we are having international call-ins.
Correct.
Benin, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, USA, UK. Individuals are sending the medications through the mail to their relatives and friends abroad. So we need more. Already we're struggling with the conservation of some of the plants. We need to grow them in larger plantations. So we need more help in that regard. We need more help with the production, because if, let's say, we're just targeting, let me tell you, the herbal medicine industry is a $233 billion US industry. And it's expected to grow by 8.32% per the compound annual growth rate mechanism to about 433 plus in the next 7 to 10 years. So it means that if you want to catch up to where China and the rest are, we are still lagging behind in terms of technology and then support. So we need more help. And this is where we need more help with public partnership, public-private partnerships, pharmaceutical companies coming in. Because aside the years of usage of the herbal products, we now have to delve into clinical trials, properly standardized clinical trials, which we've not even gotten there yet. And that is a very expensive field to venture into. And that is where we need pharmaceutical companies with the financial muscle to come and push us in that direction.
Great stuff. If you just join us over here, Dr. Donko and Dr. Tia with me here, and we're talking about plant medicine. It's been 50 years, and they still continue to make some great strides. And they're telling us about, the anniversary itself. Let's get into the conference that we'll be having as part of the anniversary. What are we doing?
Yeah, so we at the center, we have an annual conference, actually in honor of the founder, Dr. Oku Ampofo. So we call it Kwam Conference, an international conference we've been running over the years. And this year, in partnership with some of our collaborators in the Caribbean, we're actually having our conference in Barbados. Okay. And it is from the 8th to 11th of April. And we are looking at, as always we've done, having scientists from all over the world, from the US, from India, from Nigeria, South Africa, a lot from Ghana, and all that. So we'll all be converging in Barbados from 8th to 11th for our annual scientific conference. But because we are 50 years, this year, the opening session of the conference will also be the international launch of our 50th anniversary. And of course, beyond the conference, there will be a number of activities that we will also have back in Ghana as part of the 50th anniversary celebration.
Okay. Now, beyond that, what are we also looking in terms of helping people to understand where we stand and where we intend to take herbal medicine to? What are we doing to make sure that we're able to drive home that message as well?
All right. From our perspective in the clinic, integrative medicine is the way to go. When we are being trained at medical school, we frown upon herbal medicine as being a major cause of kidney disease or kidney problems and liver problems. I have a personal mission to prove that we can use our locally manufactured products to treat disease without necessarily causing kidney or liver or organic problems. So in view of this, we're having public outreach programs this time around to make people more aware about the rational use of herbal medicines. Just because it's natural doesn't mean you can take any quantity you want. Like he said initially in his statement, herbal medicines can look so similar. There's this plant when you touch it, the leaves close. Yeah. One species has the red stalk. The other species is green. If you're not careful and you use the red stalk, you're in trouble.
I see.
So it means that we need to make the public aware of the rational use of herbal medicines. And we intend to do this through media engagement, talks with schools. We're having medical outreach programs in certain designated communities to tell them about the rational use of herbal medicines. KNUST produces trained professionals called medical herbalists. I trained in that before doing medicine. And for the since 2005, every batch of medical herbalists that are trained passed through the center. So we intend to make their training to more rigorous, because we need our colleagues to sell the idea that herbal medicines work, and with evidence backing it, we can project it higher and further. We also intend to have more, through technology, to engage with international clientele, because now we get calls from outside. We've used all these medications. We now want to try other alternatives. So it is an area we're also looking at seriously, whether we venture into the telemedicine arena. We can consult and then send our medicines to people outside. So for us, we feel the future is bright because we have something good. We shouldn't wait for the West to tell us it's bad. They take it from us, research on it, and bring it back that it is the best.
We buy it expensive.
We buy it expensive. When we can develop our own and give it out there. And I tell you that if the government will even get involved, like they've been doing, but we need more from them.
And there's that integration, the government integration on herbal medicine.
Yes, it started with 18 units at certain GHS facilities. Now we have trained medical herbalists in 55 across the country, 55 units. They take our products on weekly basis to the various units they run. So we are getting there gradually where the integration should be. But on the grounds, there's a bit of friction between those of us trained in the Western medicine and then those with the traditional medicine. We need to join and meet at a point and trust that what we are doing at the center and then with traditional medicine can help people.
But what makes it difficult, though? Is it the understanding, or it's just the fact that some people still believe that it's not the way to go?
There's always the fear of the unknown. There's always the fear of the unknown. People don't know, so they literally shroud herbal medicine in black. It's the understanding that some people are lacking. I was in China some time back, and one professor said, if we use herbal medicine and it is bad on the health of our people, how stupid must we be then for giving our people toxins or toxic things to take in? It means that there is something good there that they are doing, which we can also copy from them. In Dimona, Israel, most of them don't consume orthodox medication, and they have a longer lifespan than us. In Japan, they are very, very, very engrossed in herbal medicines. They are herbal teas they don't do without in the mornings. And you see them living longer.
We even buy some of them into the country anyway.
Voila.
I don't know how many people are taking local leaf tea leaf or whatever it is. There are always foreign ones that we're
cherish. But we have ones that we can equally develop and then project very well.
Great. Before we go, is there any other thing you want to, as it were, tell the public with regards to the 50th anniversary or maybe plant medicine?
Right.
Well, so it's more about plant medicine for the 50th anniversary, like we said already. It's a whole year thing, but it's more about plant medicine and what we hope to do in the coming years. And for us, our focus is on two major things. The first one, looking at clinical trials. Sometimes this friction that you see exists between orthodox and herbal medicine or traditional medicine. These frictions exist not in vacuum. There's actually some should I say, reason, and you need to be fair to people who are trained professionally. And one of the things that we want to do going forward after doing this over 50 years is to make sure that we move herbal medicines into clinical trials. Okay, so we are working hard towards that, and sooner than later we are going to make sure that most of our products go through clinical trials. Okay. This helps to develop data for the product, and then will make prescribers more confident in prescribing. The other thing that is important, and
you have to be brief for me at times.
It's expanding and making a full use of herbal medicine. And if we are able to start harnessing the full potential of herbal medicine, getting it into the main pharmaceutical production system, it will help us greatly economically. And that's another thing we are looking at doing, partnering with pharmaceutical companies and getting them to go into the manufacture of herbal extracts.
Okay, very well. Thank you very much, Dr. Kwasi Aidoo and Dr. Kingsley Kwasi, to join us this morning from the Center for Plant Medicine Research. And that's been our conversation on Good Living. We're back again tomorrow at 6 a.m. Thanks for watching. My name is KMJ. Rosalyn Philip was here with me.